to drink, huh?
I know. He had that kind of
slur.
Yeah, that slow way of talking that made him seem a little bit drunk.
Well, that's definitely something you don't want to do, is show up to work with alcohol in your breath.
Exactly. But you know what? There's a lot of great language in this dialogue. So why don't we take a look at it now in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
All right, well, I want to look at 3 words here. Now, the first one, Anthony said that Isabel was preoccupied. Preoccupied.
Okay, so if somebody is preoccupied,
they're not focused.
maybe they're a little bit worried.
Yeah, they're thinking of something else.
Okay.
Why don't we take a listen to a few examples of how this word is used?
Example 1.
James is really preoccupied. I think he's having some family problems.
Example 2.
Oh, were you talking to me, honey? I'm sorry. I'm just really preoccupied with work.
All right, so very clear now, preoccupied. Let's move on to our next word, direct impact.
Direct impact.
A direct impact.
All right, so again, Isabel told Anthony that the decision will have a direct impact on his career. It will have a noticeable or impact or effect on his career.
Okay, so a direct impact. And what about our last word?
Well, Anthony said, I resent that.
Resent.
Resent.
Okay, now this is spelled exactly like resent, like with an S, right?
That's right. R-E-S-E-N-T.
But you pronounce it like a Z.
Resent.
Resent that. So what does it mean if you say, I resent that?
It means I find that insulting.
I find that to be not true.
Yes.
Okay, I resent.
All right, Marco, well, how do you use this word?
Well, if somebody tells you you're lazy,
Okay,
right?
then you might say, hey, I resent that.
Right. I do a lot of work. I'm not
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah, so it's always something that you use after someone insults you.
Right. Or says something that you find to be not true. Okay. Resent that. And I guess with this, it's time for us to listen to this dialogue again, and then we'll come back and look at some great phrases.
Hi, Isabel. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Anthony. Come on in and have a seat.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit preoccupied.
Well, Anthony, this is not going to be an easy conversation. The company has made some decisions which will have a direct impact on your employment.
Okay.
I don't want to beat around the bush, so I'm just going to come out with it. We're going to have to let you go.
What? Why? I mean, just like that, I'm fired?
I'm sorry, but to be honest, you're a terrible employee.
What? I resent that.
Anthony, you were caught making international calls from the office phone. You called in sick 8 times this month. And you smell like alcohol.
Yeah, well, there's some wonderful language in here that you can use when you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody.
Right. So let's take a look at these phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
We have 3 phrases here, and the first one is to beat around the bush.
Okay. Beat around the bush.
Beat around the bush.
Okay. So this is an idiomatic phrase. So before we explain it, let's listen to somebody beating around the bush.
Okay, the one thing that I want to tell you, it's so important that I don't like, sometimes when, all right, here's the deal. This is it. Specifically, it's not this, it's not that, it's not you, it's not me. It's everyone. It's everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So as you can tell, the person has something to say, but
They're taking a long time to say it.
right, you're kind of looking for the right or maybe more polite words to say something.
Exactly.
So that is to beat around the bush.
Now, the opposite of to beat around the bush is to come out with it.
Okay, come out with it.
Come out with it.
So maybe you're talking to your friend and he's beating around the bush, so you can just say, hey, come out with it.
Tell me.
Tell me, just
Yep.
what is it?
Exactly.
right? Come out with it. Be direct.
When Isabel finally came out with it, she told Anthony that we're going to have to let you go.
Let you go.
Let you go.
So this is actually a nicer way of saying you're fired.
Yeah, it's a little bit more polite, isn't it?
Right. We're going to have to let you go, or...
I was let go from my company.
Right. So a synonym for to be fired.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's listen to Anthony getting fired one more time, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this difficult situation.
Hi, Isabel. You wanted to see me?
Yes, Anthony. Come on in and have a seat.
Is everything okay? You seem a bit preoccupied.
Well, Anthony, this is not going to be an easy conversation. The company has made some decisions which will have a direct impact on your employment.
Okay.
I don't want to beat around the bush, so I'm just going to come out with it. We're going to have to let you go.
What? Why? I mean, just like that, I'm fired?
I'm sorry, but to be honest, you're a terrible employee.
What? I resent that.
Anthony, you were caught making international calls from the office phone. You called in sick 8 times this month. And you smell like alcohol.
So, Erica, have you ever fired anyone?
I have fired a lot of people.
Oh, wow. You are a mean person.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are some people who really do silly things like come to work drunk. And if you do that...
You're obviously going to get fired.
Yeah.
But in the United States, actually, there is an interesting way of firing people. They get a pink slip.
Oh, yeah. But I guess this is just a little bit different than getting fired. You get a pink slip when you get laid off.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, if you come to work drunk, you get fired immediately, right?
Yes.
But when you get a pink slip, so it's basically a little pink paper that tells you that you have been laid off.
Yeah. And so when you hear somebody say, we sent out, so when you hear somebody talk about pink slips, like our company sent out 500 pink slips, that means that 500 people got laid off.
Or I got a pink slip today.
That means you got laid off.
Right.
Yep.
That's actually interesting because I don't know any other country that actually has this
A special color.
for firing people.
Yeah. How about in your country? Is there a special color for pink slips?
If you guys have any stories as well, maybe about being fired, or maybe you've had to fire somebody.
Come to our website and tell us about it.
Right, englishpod.com. There you can leave your questions and comments. Erica and I are always there trying to answer your questions, and also our great community is there that will also help you.
Okay, guys, well, we're out of time for today, but until next time,
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're joined here in our studio with our user of the month, Jaking.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah,
Hey,
Jaking.
Jaking.
Hi, Michael and Erica.
Jaking has done an awesome job of participating in the community and helping all of the other users. So we're so happy that he's in the studio today.
Yeah, so Jaking, tell us about yourself. You're from China.
Yeah, I'm from Shanghai, China. I'm a software engineer and work for a USA company.
Okay.
So that's why English is important for you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I use English for my work every day.
Do you talk to clients or a lot of foreigners?
No, in fact, I just send an email to my UK coworkers.
Ah, okay. So you do a lot of email communication in English.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, Jaking, well, let's get to know you a little bit better. I have some questions. You told us that you've studied English in school before, right?
Yes.
High school and all that stuff.
Middle school.
Yeah?
I think I studied English when I was a pupil.
Like
Primary school.
Primary school.
Okay.
So what do you think about learning English like this in the classroom?
Learning English at the classroom is boring. I hated learning English at that time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way when I was in school learning French.
Yeah, I guess it's not really that much fun in the classroom, right?
Yes.
What do you think is the hardest thing about learning English?
To me, remember the vocabularies is the hardest one.
Really?
But Jaking,
Yeah.
you have such a good vocabulary. So what do you do to help yourself remember the vocabularies?
I think just practice and use it like native speakers.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any special things that you do to help you study, or any secrets that you can tell some of our listeners?
I think there is no secrets on learning any languages. Just practice and practice.
Just practice and practice.
That is
Yeah.
the secret.
Yeah. How many hours a day do you practice, or do you listen to the podcast?
I listen the lessons for 2 hours each day.
For 2 hours each day.
Yeah, for 2 hours each day.
Wow. Is this after work or?
I listen the lessons when I was on the subway
Oh, okay.
and the bus.
On the bus. Oh, okay. So you have an iPod or an MP3 player.
Yeah, I have Apple.
Oh, okay. Well, and finally, what is it that you like about English Pod?
An English Pod affords a good platform for learning English, and I can make friends here and share learning English experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean like posting the comments and all that stuff.
Yes, I post comments, and then we can change the email address and like the MSN, we can chat at MSN.
Okay.
Well, that's one of the things that we think is so important at English Pod is the chance for learners to talk to each other and help each other. And that's why we chose you to be the user of the month, because you do such a great job at helping everyone.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Okay, well, we also have some great lessons coming up next week that we want to talk about. Erica, what is the first one?
Okay, next week we've got 3 new lessons coming out. And the first lesson is called Canceling an Appointment.
So we're going to be teaching you how you can cancel an appointment with your boss or a friend.
Okay, that can be so useful.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can cancel your appointments with your boss.
Yeah.
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 Hey, we're glad you didn't cancel your appointment with us today.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to have it.
And we also have a lesson next week about opening a bank account.
Yeah. That's really useful when you're in an English-speaking country. Maybe you're living there or you're going to be there for a while. You need to open a bank account, so we're going to show you how.
Yeah, that we can learn lots of vocabularies about money.
I know that when I wanted to open a bank account here in China, it was really difficult.
That's true. Maybe the bank tellers should learn English by visit
Yeah.
learn English.
All right, and we also have a really fun lesson about basketball. Yeah. So basketball is a popular sport in China.
Yes, but I think without Yao Ming, the CBA is worse and worse.
Yeah. All right. So, Marco, we're soon coming to the end of our beta testing at English Pod.
Exactly. Like everyone knows, we launched about 2 months ago. And at the end of this month, our beta testing phase is over. So we want you to keep listening and take advantage of a special promotion that we're launching. If you pay for a 12-month subscription before January 31st, you will get a 15-month subscription.
So you get 3 months for free.
Exactly.
Great.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
So, Michael, what's the price?
I'm glad you asked, Jaking. The price is $69 for the 12-month subscription,
Wow.
right? So it's not really that expensive.
No,
It's-
Yes.
$69 for a year is pretty good.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it's
so.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like $6 a month, so it's not that expensive.
Yes.
So I hope everyone keeps listening because we're going to be coming out with more advanced lessons. We're going to be coming out with some extra shows, maybe talking about business and culture.
Yep.
So our podcasts are going to be growing and we're going to offer you a lot more for
Awesome
your money.
stuff.
Yeah. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so we're out of time. Thank you so much, Jaking, for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Jaking.
Thanks for your time.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Until then,
And until then, it's bye.
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 EnglishPod.com. Hello everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you again our romantic, dramatic suspense series, I'm Sorry, I Love You, Part 7.
So we're going to find out what's happening with Steven and Veronica.
Right. In the last episode, Veronica was at the doctor's. She was pregnant.
But then the doctor told her it was a lie and he made it up and she wasn't even pregnant.
Exactly. So now let's see what Veronica and Steven are going to say to each other. Maybe they will break up.
I don't know. I don't think so. But let's listen.
Thank God you showed up when you did. He's insane. Do you think we should call the police?
Don't worry about it. I'll call my friend and have him take care of it. I can't believe he was stalking you all these years. What a nut job.
I know. Well, he said I'm not pregnant. I'm sorry if I got you all worked up over nothing. I want you to know that I didn't do it on purpose.
Don't apologize. From the moment I met you, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought of you. And now that I'm with you again, I'm just scared, Veronica. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you, I mean, I just can't handle it. We were made for each other, Veronica. You're my everything, my soulmate. What can I do?
Just hold me. I'll always be here for you, no matter what. And together, we can tackle whatever life throws at us. I believe in us, Steven.
I'm so happy to hear that. I know we belong together. I love you so much.
It was such a romantic moment, and now what happened? Somebody got shot.
Oh my God, I don't know. This is like so big. I can't believe this is happening.
Well, it's a very intense drama, but we saw some great words and a lot of great phrases in there when Steven was telling her all these beautiful words, right?
That's right. So why don't we look at some of these words now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Veronica was glad, or she was very happy that Steven showed up.
That's right, showed up.
So to show up.
Right, to come to a place.
Okay, or to arrive.
That's right.
So let's listen to some examples of how we can use show up in different contexts.
Example 1.
We were waiting for you like an hour and you never showed up.
Example 2. I didn't invite him to the party. He just simply showed up uninvited. Example 3.
After months of being lost, my dog finally showed up with a family.
All right, so I think it's pretty clear now, the verb show up.
And I think this verb is a little bit informal, isn't it?
Yes, you wouldn't really tell your boss, hey, I'm waiting for you to show up.
Yeah, it's a bit too informal.
Mm-hmm. As you know, the doctor, he was stalking Veronica.
That's right. So that's our next word, stalk.
To stalk somebody.
S-T-A-L-K.
Okay, stalk. Now, this isn't a good thing, right?
No, this is bad.
So what happens when you stalk someone?
You follow them secretly for a long time.
And then maybe you watch them and...
Yeah, like you're standing outside their window watching them get undressed or something.
Okay, so many famous people have stalkers, right?
Yeah, which is the noun.
The noun form, exactly. Mm-hmm. So if I am stalking somebody, I am considered to be a stalker.
Yes, so to stalk.
So don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
So Steven described this stalker as a nut job.
A nut job.
Nut job.
A nut job.
Okay, very, very informal, and it doesn't really mean anything literally, but it's crazy.
Yes, it means a crazy person.
A crazy person. What a nut job.
He's a nut job.
Okay. So would you really call this to someone, like, to their face?
No, definitely not. It's definitely impolite.
Right. You can't say to someone, oh, you're a nut job.
Yeah, but it's not a swear word.
No, but it's a little bit insulting, right? It's
That's
like
right.
saying you're crazy.
Yeah.
But stronger. Well, the doctor was a nut job. He was stalking her, and she apologized to Steven for getting him worked up.
Worked up.
So work up.
To be worked up.
When you get worked up, what happens?
You get really emotional and usually angry or sad or upset, but a negative emotion.
Okay, so you got worked up.
So it's always used with the verb to get. So to get worked up.
Okay, you get worked up.
You got worked up.
Okay, very good. And well, Steven got worked up over nothing, but he didn't mind. He said she is his love, and he called her his soulmate.
His soulmate.
Soulmate.
That's right, a very romantic word, meaning the perfect person for you.
Right, your other half.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so your soulmate is that perfect complement for you. And it's usually romantic, right?
Usually romantic, but sometimes you might use it with your very, very, very best friend.
Okay, because you understand each other.
Yeah, you know what the other one's thinking. You're the perfect fit together.
Okay, soulmate. Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, we've seen some really interesting words, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and then we'll come back and look at some of the phrases that were used.
Thank God you showed up when you did. He's insane. Do you think we should call the police?
Don't worry about it. I'll call my friend and have him take care of it. I can't believe he was stalking you all these years. What a nut job.
I know. Well, he said I'm not pregnant. I'm sorry if I got you all worked up over nothing. I want you to know that I didn't do it on purpose.
Don't apologize. From the moment I met you, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought of you. And now that I'm with you again, I'm just scared, Veronica. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you, I just can't handle it. We were made for each other, Veronica. You're my everything, my soulmate. What can I do?
Just hold me. I'll always be here for you, no matter what. And together, we can tackle whatever life throws at us. I believe in us, Steven.
I'm so happy to hear that. I know we belong together. I love you so much.
That was a little bit more clear this time, but now I want to look at some phrases in the dialogue and see how they can be put together.
Putting it together.
So Veronica apologized to Steven for getting him worked up over nothing.
Over nothing.
Over nothing.
Now it's the complete sentence. I'm sorry for getting you worked up over nothing.
So over nothing means for no reason, right?
Right, exactly. So why don't we listen to some other examples of how we can use over nothing?
Example 1. You always get angry over nothing. You have such a bad temper. Example 2.
I called the police last night over nothing. I thought I had a thief in my house.
Example 3. Let's not fight over nothing. Let's just have dinner in peace.
Okay, so we see you can use many different verbs together with over nothing. So get excited over nothing, get angry over nothing, get upset over nothing.
Exactly. Very good. So over nothing. And now for our next phrase. So when Steven was telling Veronica how much he loved her, he told her, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought of you.
So not a day has gone by.
So that part of the sentence, not a day has gone by, what does he mean by that?
He means basically every day I think of you.
There hasn't been a moment where I haven't thought of you. Now, how can we change it a little bit? What can we change within this phrase?
Well, you can put in different times.
Okay.
So not a day has gone by, not an hour has gone by, not a moment has gone by.
Not a month, not a year.
Exactly.
Okay. So you can use different times in that phrase, but an important thing is that the complement is always negative, right?
That's right. So it's always followed by a negative. Not a day has gone by that I haven't wished you were here.
Okay, so it's followed by a negative.
That's right. Maybe one more. Not a second has gone by that I haven't missed you.
Okay, very good examples. Very romantic.
Oh, Marco.
All right. And now our last phrase. He told her, I'll always be here for you no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what. So
No matter what.
what does he mean by that?
Well, regardless of, or, nothing's going to stop me.
Okay, so if I want to get that job, I'm going to get it no matter what.
So nothing's going to stop you.
Now, we can change the WH word, what, at the end, right?
Yep.
With other ones.
Exactly. So no matter where.
No matter where you are, I will find you.
Yeah. No matter when.
No matter when your birthday is, I will be there.
That's right. You can see how you can use different WH words here.
Okay, very good. And it's a very common phrase, right?
Yep.
No matter what, no matter where.
No matter when, no matter why.
No matter how.
Yeah, no matter how.
Okay, so those were some really great phrases, and I think you can play with them a little bit, change some things, and then you can use them in your everyday life.
That's right. But why don't we hear them again one more time in context with the dialogue?
Thank God you showed up when you did. He's insane. Do you think we should call the police?
Don't worry about it. I'll call my friend and have him take care of it. I can't believe he was stalking you all these years. What a nut job.
I know. Well, he said I'm not pregnant. I'm sorry if I got you all worked up over nothing. I want you to know that I didn't do it on purpose.
Don't apologize. From the moment I met you, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought of you. And now that I'm with you again, I'm just scared, Veronica. The closer I get to you, the worse it gets. The thought of not being with you, I just can't handle it. We were made for each other, Veronica. You're my everything, my soulmate. What can I do?
Just hold me. I'll always be here for you, no matter what. And together, we can tackle whatever life throws at us. I believe in us, Stephen.
I'm so happy to hear that. I know we belong together. I love you so much.
Okay, Erica, so who do you think got shot?
I don't know, but I'm starting to think this story is becoming a soap opera.
Well, it certainly is. And well, what do you guys think happened? Or who do you think got shot? Or
Who did the shooting?
who shot who? Maybe
Was it even a gunshot?
maybe it was just a car.
The tire could have popped. I don't know.
So, well, come to our website, tell us what you think happens or what you would like to happen, because I know many people are expecting a little bit more romance maybe and less drama.
But if you have any questions about the language in this lesson, please visit the website at englishpod.com.
Exactly. Erica and I are always there to answer your questions and, well, anything you guys need.
Anything?
Anything.
Well, thanks for listening to this lesson, and until next time,
Goodbye.
bye.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're back in the office. We have a lesson that's talking about something that goes wrong in the office.
Yes, something that I can really understand well, but we'll talk about that later. So this lesson is about a photocopier.
A photocopier. So let's take a look at this word in vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so a photocopier makes copies.
Yeah, it makes copies of documents. We often call it a copier or a copy machine.
Yeah, so you can call it a photocopier, copy machine, or copier.
Yes. Or a Xerox machine as well.
Xerox machine, yeah. We can talk about that a little bit later because that's an interesting story.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at our next word. Toner.
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 So toner is what the copy machine uses to make copies.
It's like the ink.
Right. It's a very fine black powder.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not an ink.
No, it's actually dry.
Okay.
Yeah. It's dry. It's a powder, so you don't want to get that all over you.
All right. Well, good advice, Marco. And And our last word in vocabulary preview, malfunction.
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 Let's break down this word.
All right.
Function.
To work.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Mal.
I guess mal maybe comes from Latin or something. Because in Spanish we say mal, which is something evil or not good.
Okay, so I think we can understand malfunction is...
Not good working. Right?
Yeah. Okay, more or less. It's not working properly.
It's not working properly,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, well, why don't we listen to the dialogue and find out what isn't working properly?
Hey, Carl, can you make a copy of this contract for me, please? And when you have it ready, send it out ASAP to our sub-branch.
Sure. I think I broke this thing. Maxine, can you help me out here? I'm not really a tech guy.
Yeah, sure. I think it's just out of toner. You can go use the other one upstairs. On your way up, can you fax this while I try and fix this thing?
Sure. Damn it. Everything in this office seems to be breaking down. I'll send the stupid fax later. Oh, great! Is someone playing a practical joke on me? This is ridiculous!
The elevator has some sort of malfunction. Just take the stairs, dude. What floor are you going to?
I have to go up 15 floors! Never mind. Made it. There's a copier. No!
Okay, so this copy machine is definitely not working properly.
A serious malfunction.
A serious malfunction. I think the whole building exploded. All right, very dramatic here at English Pod, but we have fun, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the great language that we saw in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, 3 words for you here in Language Takeaway. And we heard all of these in the dialogue. So this guy needs to get a copy ASAP.
ASAP
ASAP.
or ASAP.
Yes. Meaning,
As soon as possible.
so really, really fast.
Really fast.
Yep.
This is a very, very common phrase, right?
So it's an acronym, and you can say it like ASAP or
ASAP.
exactly.
Yeah, usually people say it like that because it's too long, I guess, to say
Yeah.
as soon as possible. So,
Yeah.
hey, I need this document ASAP.
Yes.
Or ASAP.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at our next word. A practical joke.
Practical joke.
Practical joke.
Practical joke.
Okay, so a practical joke. I'm sure we have all played a practical joke on some of our friends, right?
Yes.
Basically, what you do is you do something funny on purpose to someone.
Yeah, but something crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. For example, when I was in university, there was this guy in our building, and we took all of his bedroom furniture, so his bed, his desk, everything, and put it down on the football field.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a practical joke.
That is a very good and elaborate practical joke.
Yep.
Okay, so practical joke, do something crazy or funny to your friends. Okay. And now let's look at our last word. Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Okay, so if you say never mind, it means
Don't worry about it.
don't worry about
Forget
it.
it.
Forget it.
Yep.
Never mind.
Yep. Yeah, this is so common, and I think it would be helpful to understand how it's used. So let's hear some examples.
Example 1.
Someone stole my wallet. Oh, wait, never mind. Here it is.
Example 2.
Can you get some milk on your way home? Oh, never mind. We still have some.
Example 3.
The printer's broken? Never mind. I'll do this later.
Okay, great examples, and I think our language takeaway is clear. So why don't we listen to our dialogue for the second time, and then we'll come back and talk about putting it together.
Hey, Carl. Can you make a copy of this contract for me, please? And when you have it ready, send it out ASAP to our sub-branch.
Sure. I think I broke this thing. Maxine, can you help me out here? I'm not really a tech guy.
Yeah, sure. I think it's just out of toner. You can go use the other one upstairs. On your way up, can you fax this while I try and fix this thing?
Sure. Damn it. Everything in this office seems to be breaking down. I'll send the stupid fax later. Oh, great. Is someone playing a practical joke on me? This is ridiculous.
The elevator has some sort of malfunction. Just take the stairs, dude. What floor are you going to?
I have to go up 15 floors. Never mind. Made it. There's a copier. No!
In this dialogue, there's some great language that can be used in many different patterns or in many different ways. So in today's Putting It Together, we're going to show you how to use 3 of these patterns.
Putting it together.
Okay, the first pattern that we can look at is out of toner.
Out of toner.
Right. So we already talked about toner.
Yep.
Let's talk about out of.
Okay, so when you are out of, you have none.
Right. So let's change a little bit. So I can say I am out of milk.
I'm out of time.
Out of time, right?
Yep.
If you're driving, I'm out of gas or gasoline.
Yep. So out of plus noun.
Perfect. It means you don't have none. Yeah, you don't have none.
Englishpod.com.
Englishpod.com. You ain't got none.
Ubonics.com.
All right, out of time. Let's take a look at our second one. On your way up.
Yeah, on your way up.
On your way, right? So this is a great way when you are talking to someone and they're going somewhere.
Yes.
Right? So on your way up.
Can you bring this to HR?
Okay. On your way to the store.
Can you mail this letter?
Or maybe on your way home.
Can you buy me some flowers?
Nice. All right. So on your way, it means
while you are going there.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of the fact that you are going somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our last one. And this is a really great phrase. Break down.
Break down.
In our dialogue, we heard breaking down.
Yes.
Right?
Everything in the office seems to be breaking down.
Right. So when something breaks down,
it stops working.
It stops working. Yeah. Exactly. So we can change it a little bit. What happens if we say break up?
Ooh, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
They end their relationship.
Okay, so we can maybe think about it as their relationship stops working.
Oh, nice one.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about break in?
Enter a place using force.
Right. You enter a house that's not yours.
Yeah, so if you break into a house, maybe you break the window and climb in.
Okay. What about break out?
The opposite.
Right.
So, for example, you might break out of jail.
Break out of prison.
Yeah.
So this is a great phrase. You can change the last word from break down, break up, break in.
Yeah.
And it means different things.
Yeah, so use different prepositions for different meanings.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then Erica and I will be back and talk a little bit more about malfunctioning office supplies.
Hey, Carl. Can you make a copy of this contract for me, please? And when you have it ready, send it out ASAP to our sub-branch.
Sure. I think I broke this thing. Maxine, can you help me out here? I'm not really a tech guy.
Yeah, sure. I think it's just out of toner. You can go use the other one upstairs. On your way up, can you fax this while I try and fix this thing?
Sure. Damn it. Everything in this office seems to be breaking down. I'll send the stupid fax later. Oh, great. Is someone playing a practical joke on me? This is ridiculous.
The elevator has some sort of malfunction. Just take the stairs, dude. What floor are you going to?
I have to go up 15 floors. Never mind. Made it. There's a copier. No!
All right, so Erica, everything that you touch that's electronic seems to malfunction, right?
This is absolutely true. I don't know what it is, but you know what? If I turn on a computer, it will suddenly get a virus. And even if I'm very careful, it still breaks.
Right. Yeah, it happens sometimes. I can relate to that.
But you are much better at computers and technology than I am.
Well, I really, really like them. And, well, I guess even I know a little bit about copy machines or copiers because my uncles are like copy technicians.
Really?
Yeah, so, you know, they fix copiers that broke down or they replace toner and, you know, they do all that stuff. So that's why I know a little bit about it. But actually, the original term is a Xerox machine.
Yes, why is that?
From the brand, right?
Ah, right.
There's a brand called Xerox, and Xerox invented and patented this technology of making copies.
All right, well, the next time my photocopier explodes, I'll call you.
You call my uncles, right?
Oh, okay.
All right, and, well, let us know how things in your office break down, or if you have any stories of, like, Erica that breaks everything she touches.
It's true.
All right, so come to our website, come to our comments section, and leave your opinions, and we'll be there to also answer any doubts or questions you might have.
That's right. You can find us at englishpod.com, and Marco and I are always around.
All right, so we'll see you guys there.
Yep, we will. Okay, guys, thanks for listening, and until next time,
bye.
Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have some really interesting topics.
Yes.
Some great news.
Yes.
Okay, well, first of all, we want to thank everyone who joined our conference on Friday.
Yep.
It went really well. We had a couple of users, and we were testing it to see how it would go and to see what would be the user response.
Yeah.
So we might do it again, right?
Yeah, we might do it again. Basically, we had an online audio, video, and chat session with a lot of you guys, our users, and we wanted to see how it would work with our site. So we might do something like this again in the future.
Okay, great. So, Erica, why don't you tell us now about the lessons we have coming up next week?
We've got some great lessons next week. There was a lot of positive response to our story about Santa, Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah, that was a good dialogue.
So we've got the second part of this story, Christmas Chronicles 2.
Christmas Chronicles 2 is coming out next week.
So in this lesson, we're going to hear a lot more Christmas language.
Right.
We're going to get some great police language. And we're going to find out what happened to Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know.
It's really good. So be sure to listen to it because it's a great ending.
Yes, Marco and I are pretty proud of this lesson.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
We also have a great lesson about making an appointment.
Yes, an elementary lesson that will help you to schedule your appointments in English.
Right, and a great one about suggesting where to eat.
Yes, language for talking about food and recommending restaurants. That's something that's really important to me. I do love a good restaurant.
Yeah. So really useful language, really great lesson. So be sure to listen next week. So now it's time for us to name our user of the week.
Yeah, this week I want to say a very special thank you to the Don Machiavelli.
The Don. Yes, he's a really avid listener. I guess he's still in high school, it seems.
Yeah, I think he's from Morocco.
Yeah, I think he's from Morocco.
But basically, he's a really active user, does a lot of great questions and great posts on the website. And I particularly liked his continuation of the Christmas Chronicles story. Yeah, you should check that out.
It was really creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really liked it. So great job, Don, and keep up the good work.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's all today. Well, that's all for today on This Just In. Be sure to listen to our lessons next week. Leave your questions and comments. And remember, if you have any lesson ideas, just tell us.
Yes, we really love to hear our user lesson ideas because we want to make sure we're giving you guys lessons that you need and you want. So please send us a message, or you can write a post on the website, and we'll do our best to write a lesson about your topics.
Great. So until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye. EnglishPod.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco, and I'm here all alone at the studio because Erica left me.
Not so fast, Marco.
Marco.
Yes, Marco.
My arch enemy from Italian Pod.
Sì, Marco, sono io, Marco from Italian Pod.
What are you doing here, Marco?
You should know better than me what I'm doing here.
Okay, Marco. Prepare to battle.
Hey, hold on, guys. Hold on, come on. What's going on
Leo
here?
from Spanish Pod.
Oh, Leo. Hi, what are you doing
How's it
here?
going, Marco and Marco?
Hi, Leo. I just... how we're doing good, but you know, like...
Why?
You know, he's Marco, I'm Marco. I came... He just want to steal my place here.
My friends, this is Christmas. We're all a family here.
Yes, you're right. You have taught us the true meaning of the Christmas spirit.
Yes, only in a few convincing words. It just made me understand how beautiful it is in this special season to love each other and appreciate each other's company.
Exactly. We can all share a love together. Doesn't it, Marco?
Yes, you're right. So I guess...
I think he was referring to me. Yes, you're right.
I think it was
Leo.
me. I am Marco.
No, but...
I'm hosting the show. So now let's look at the lessons that we have this week coming up on English Pod. We have a lesson about the bird flu.
Is it good?
It's very good.
Why?
Bird flu, like China bird flu?
Like chicken bird flu.
Is it dangerous?
It's very dangerous.
Oh.
So we're going to teach you some great vocabulary about planning for the bird flu. We also have a great New Year's lesson for New Year's resolutions.
What's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution for 2009 is drink more water. It's true. It's true. Hi.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
What's yours? You're laughing. What's yours?
Mine?
Yes. Leo from Spanish Pod. What's yours?
Mine is to study harder Chinese to get to speak Chinese by the end of the year.
That's a good one.
Do you like that one?
All right.
That's a good one.
And Marco from English Pod.
My New Year's resolution, you'll have to hear the lesson to find out.
Ah.
Yeah. And our last lesson for next week, we're going to be asking for time off. We're asking for vacation.
Cool. I like vacations.
That's something that everybody should learn.
Yeah. Like us today, we're going to take vacation.
Yeah, we're going to take vacation thanks to this lesson. Because before I tried, I didn't succeed.
See, you didn't have the proper vocabulary.
Yeah. My boss looked at me and was like, what? I don't understand.
Yeah, our bosses are Anglophones. Can you say that in English?
Yeah, they're Anglophone. And I used to be an Anglophobe.
So we're trying to explain, hey, I want to go out.
Yes.
How do you say it?
Yeah,
I want to party. I want to relax.
Go home.
And he was like, what?
No, go back to work.
Yeah.
Back to work.
Yeah.
He just wants us to work and work and work.
But now, thanks to EnglishPod.com, we are all better men.
Yes, we are. All right, everyone. We're out of time today for This Just In. I hope you had fun with us, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year from Marco too.
Marco, and from Leo from Spanish.
So you're
Pod.
Marco number 2.
No, I'm Marco TOO too.
Oh, I
Also
thought you
Marco.
mentioned yourself. You call yourself Marco too.
No, he's Marco too. I was here first.
All right, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you.
Ciao.
Bye. EnglishPod.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
All right, today we're going to be talking about a lot of great things here at English Pod. Why don't we start with the lessons for this week?
Yeah, Marco, we've got some really interesting lessons coming up this week. One of my favorites is called Turn Left Here.
Turn left here. That's a really cool lesson. Why do you like it so much?
Well, it's all about giving directions. And this topic can be so boring because, you learn it all the time when you're in class. But I think the dialogue for this lesson brings a lot of drama and excitement to the lesson.
Yeah, it's a really good one, but we have a great lesson also on a protest, which is really interesting.
This is an upper intermediate lesson that we have coming, and it has a lot of useful language that will help you to express anger and talk about current events.
Yes, and our final lesson for next week is actually a surprise lesson, but I'll tell you this, it's about Christmas.
That's true. That's all we're going to tell you, though.
Yes, but listen to it because it's a really good lesson, and I'm sure everyone will have a lot of fun with it.
So, Marco, I think maybe we should talk a little bit about our website.
Yeah, as you know, at EnglishPod.com, we have a lot of great features on the website, but today we want to talk specifically about the vocabulary feature of the website.
Sure. One of the cool things about the English Pod website is that you can actually save any word in the dialogues or the expansion sentences, and you can save these words to your vocabulary section. So maybe you could explain a little bit about how you can save words.
As you know, you have the dialogue tab where you can read all the dialogue, or you also have the expansion tab where you have expansion sentences. Now, the interesting part is that if you left click on one of those words, it's automatically transferred to your vocabulary list, so you can go back later and go over it.
That's true. Where can you find this vocabulary list?
If you go to the Me section, there you'll find a tab that says Vocabulary. And there you'll see all the vocabulary that you've saved of all the different lessons.
Sure, so this is a great tool for review.
Yeah, so you don't have to go back to each lesson to review those words. You can just go to your vocabulary list and you have everything there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a really great feature, so let us know what you think of it. Go and try it out, and I'm sure everyone will find it really useful.
Okay, so let's move on to talk about our user of the week.
Okay, our star learner of the week is Jaking.
Jaking. Awesome job on the boards.
He's been asking a lot of great questions, but most importantly, what's been really great about him is that he's also been answering other learners' questions.
We really appreciate Jaking's efforts because, you know what, you don't have to be a native English speaker to be able to help out your fellow students. And helping other students with their questions is actually a great way for you to learn something more. So, awesome job, Jaking. A big shout out to you.
Yeah, great job. And by the way, I really like his avatar. It's a transformer. I think it's Optimus Prime or something. It's really cool.
You know their names, eh?
Of course. I grew up with that.
I guess I'm a bit of a girly girl.
So great job, Jaking. And we also want to mention our user of the week, Serbi, who is also a native speaker, but does a really great job at answering other people's questions and helping people out.
We specifically really appreciate her insights into British English because, you know, Marco and I speak North American English, so it's great to have that input on the boards as well.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Serbi. Really good job, and keep up the good work. Okay, folks, we're out of time now, but be sure to listen next week to all our great lessons, and any questions or comments, be sure to post them on our website at englishpod.com.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
englishpod.com.
Ciao, podcast people of English Pod. My name is Marco, the other Marco, the real Marco from Italian Pod. But do not despair, I'm not here to try and steal the show from your favorite Marco, the other Marco, Marco Zero. Because the problem is that at this moment right now, Leo from Spanish Pod and Marco from English Pod left the country because they were suspected of they had some problem with justice, and they are now in Cambodia. But we managed to find like a telephone connection. They're there under the mines, and they are going to speak with us in a moment. Guys, can you hear me?
Hey, Marco, can you hear us?
Hey, Marco!
So how you doing?
Marco?
Leo?
Yeah, we're great here. We're in the middle of these ruins. It's amazing.
Yeah, Angkor Wat, it is amazing. It is really cool.
So you are in Cambodia. You managed to run away from the police?
Yeah, they didn't catch us, but we're coming back soon, so everything got ordered and we're not going to jail anymore.
Yeah, Marco, where can we deposit the $1 million we stole?
Just make a money transfer to my bank account.
In the Cayman Islands, right?
Yeah, no problem, guys. By the way, so you want to say something to the users, Marco? This week the users have been looking for you. I didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're on this trip, but we'll be back soon. And to all our users, hello from Cambodia.
Hello!
And don't despair, I'll be back soon, so don't worry about it. I'll bring back some pictures, and we'll have some good stories to tell.
So, do you know the lessons for next week?
Yeah, we do.
You do?
Yeah. All right, so next week we have some really great lessons.
That's a professional.
Even though we're on vacation, we still have to keep our listeners happy.
Yeah.
Even if you're on the run, you still manage to do your job well.
Of course.
Bravo, un applauso.
Un applauso.
Bravo, Marco!
All right, so we have this lesson about pizza, and you are on it, right? You are giving us your professional Italian insight about pizza.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. The zippa, you mean?
The zippa, yes. So we're going to be teaching you some vocabulary related to the ingredients in pizza and how you can order pizza.
They had great pizza here in Cambodia, by the way.
Yeah, good pizza, huh?
They say pizza is from Cambodia, no?
It's originally from Cambodia, and then it was taken over to Italy.
I think Marco Polo brought it back to Italy.
Yeah.
Marco Polo is responsible for everything. So what are the other lessons?
All right, our next lesson for next week is head chef.
Nice. So it's all about food next week.
About food, we have a lesson that's about cooking. So it's really important to know some vocabulary and some phrases that you would use when you're cooking.
Yeah, that's good. And even when you go to a restaurant, you have to order food, right? So you better know what you're ordering.
Exactly. And in this lesson, we're going to have a French chef.
All right. Let's just remember that Chef Tabasco here, Leo is also Chef Tabasco.
Yeah, Chef Tabasco is a very good chef.
Of course.
And also check out his cooking show at Spanish Pod.
Yeah, Cooking with Tabasco. It's really, really good. No, by the way, you are a really good cook.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and our last lesson for next week, part 5 of I'm Sorry I Love You.
Nice! I've been waiting for that for a while.
Spicy love.
Spicy love. Yeah, it's really good.
What's happening in part 5?
So in part 5, the couple is going to the doctor because remember in part 4
Are they sick?
No, because in part 4, remember she said that she's pregnant. So they're going to the doctor to know if she is or not.
What happens if she is?
Well, you have to listen to the lesson and see what happens. So really good, more drama, more suspense here at English Pod. So basically that's about it. Oh wait, what is that?
Hey, oh my God.
Dude, all right, no, we gotta run.
Hey Marco, we'll talk to you later, okay?
Hello? Leo? Marco Zero, Leo? It seems like we have some connection problems and our friends probably are now in troubles. Anyway, this is all for now for EnglishPod.com. Just go to the website and do whatever you usually do there. Remember, EnglishPod.com. Be sure to comment on the website and to see, to check out the new lessons and see if Marco comes back alive and in one piece. For Leo, we don't really care. Okay, ciao.
EnglishPod.com.
Hello, English learners. Welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
We're bringing you a great elementary podcast today.
That's right.
And we're going to be teaching you how to order pizza.
Yeah, you know, pizza is one of my favorite foods and the favorite food of many people.
Exactly. It's one of those common foods that you're at home and you want to order something to eat. And the typical thing is pizza.
Yeah. But, you know, there's some very special language that you've got to use. You got to know this language when you want to order a pizza.
Exactly. So let's listen to this dialogue for the first time as a man is ordering pizza.
Good evening, Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes, I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same size as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50 and your order will arrive in 30 minutes or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait, I need your address.
Okay, so I guess he's not getting his pizza.
No, he forgot to give his address.
That's a bit of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the vocabulary in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we've got some great pizza words for you today. And the first one we have is a medium pizza.
Medium pizza.
Medium pizza.
So that's the size, right?
Yeah.
Medium. You can say medium or
12-inch.
12-inch. Usually a medium pizza is 12 inches.
Yeah, so you could say, I'd like a 12-inch pizza.
Okay. For those of us who use centimeters, this would be more or less 30 centimeters.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at the next size, a large pizza.
Large pizza.
A large pizza.
So it might also be called an 18-inch.
An 18-inch pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Or isn't it sometimes called a family size?
Maybe.
Family size.
I guess it depends where you're ordering.
Yeah. Okay, so large and medium pizzas. Now let's take a look at some of the ingredients.
Yes.
Okay, we have pepperoni.
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 This is the common ingredient in all pizza.
It's my favorite. A pizza is not a pizza unless it has pepperoni.
Okay, so pepperoni is a sausage, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit spicy.
A little bit spicy. And they look like
circles.
Red circles.
Yep.
Okay. Olives.
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 Olives are little black or green balls.
Yes, little green or black balls. You can also find them in a martini.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's very common for them to have. It's very common to have an olive in a martini.
Yes.
Okay, and he also ordered extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
So that means more cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Extra.
All right, another ingredient. Ham.
Ham.
Ham. The meat of a pig.
Yeah, ham.
Yep.
Okay, and he also ordered another strange ingredient for a pizza, pineapple.
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 Now, this is a fruit.
I know. So weird to put pineapple on a pizza.
Many people like pineapple on their pizza. It's a tropical fruit.
Yep. Comes from Hawaii.
Usually.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of looks like a little palm tree at the top.
Yeah, the top of a pineapple looks like a tree.
Mm-hmm. So, pineapple.
Yep.
All right. Now, the last description of a pizza. He ordered it with thin crust.
Thin crust.
Thin crust.
Thin crust.
Now, we know thin is skinny. But crust, what is crust?
It's the bread part of the pizza.
The outside part.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the crust.
That's my favorite part of the
really?
pizza. Yeah. Mm.
Thin crust or thick crust?
Thin crust. Yeah, thin crust. And I really love that bread part. It's so important to a good pizza.
Okay. Well, you know, they also have the crust filled with cheese.
No, it's so wrong.
That's good too.
No.
All right, let's listen to our dialogue again, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more.
Good evening, Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes. I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50 and your order will arrive in 30 minutes or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait. I need your address.
Okay, now we have some really polite language that you could use possibly with customers or with clients.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look at them in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, all right, the first phrase we have, I think is my favorite. This is the way that Marty answered the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "This is Marty speaking."
This is Marty speaking.
This is Marty speaking.
Now, why is this so important?
Because a lot of people, when they answer the phone, say, "I'm Erica." Like, "Hello, I'm Erica," which is not what English people say. We always say, "Erica speaking."
This is Erica speaking.
Exactly. So guys, remember this. You'll sound really, really great when you use this on the phone. This is Marty speaking.
Exactly. This is Marty. Well, don't use Marty. Use your name. All right. Then you also mentioned a 2-for-1 special.
2-for-1 special.
A 2-for-1 special. So that means you're getting 2
pizzas, right?
For the price of 1. And a special is just a special promotion.
A special price.
Special price.
Yes.
2-for-1 special.
All right.
All right. Now a very easy phrase. Would you like?
Would you like?
Would you like?
Would you like?
Now this is a great way to offer something.
It's a more polite way of asking, do you want?
Do you want? Do you want is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's less polite than would you like?
Exactly.
So whenever you offer something, would you like a cup of coffee?
Would you like to sit down?
Okay.
Yep.
So would you like? Let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and talk about pizza from a pizza expert.
Good evening. Pizza House. This is Marty speaking. May I take your order?
Yes, I'd like a medium pizza with pepperoni, olives, and extra cheese.
We have a 2-for-1 special on large pizzas. Would you like a large pizza instead?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great. Would you like your second pizza to be the same size as the first?
No, make the second one with ham, pineapple, and green peppers. Oh, and make it thin crust.
Okay, thin crust. Your total is $21.50 and your order will arrive in 30 minutes or it's free.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Sir, wait, I need your address.
All right, we're back and we are here with our pizza expert. Who else but Marco from Italian Pod?
Hi, everyone.
Marco 2, right?
Marco 1.
I am Marco 0. He is Marco 1.
Yes.
Right.
We've come to an agreement.
So 0. What's the deal about this?
Well, we're talking
pizza
about
thing?
pizza today, and we wanted to know what's your opinion since pizza comes from Italy, right?
Well, thanks for the question first, Marco 0. Is my mic working?
It
Yes.
should be.
Okay. So, the problem with pizza is that, yes, it comes from Italy. Originated, the story goes with
right.
the Principe, la Regina Margherita, Queen Margherita.
All right.
But the problem is that now this confusion worldwide, pizza and Pizza Hut, American pizza, Italian pizza, that is not the same thing.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Okay. So Pizza Hut is an Italian pizza.
No. Oh my God. So, okay, here it goes. Italians, a little bit of... Italians make food, but they're not good at branding it.
Okay.
Americans, they're very good at branding the food. So they have Starbucks and Pizza Hut and blah, blah, blah. The problem is that since they have to brand it, they don't change the name. So they do this Pizza Hut that is totally different from Italian pizza. How is it different? Have you ever seen the two of them? Have you ever compared them?
Yeah. They are very different. That's true.
So, okay, can you put pineapple and ham on a pizza?
Technically, you could.
Like it's possible.
As long as you call it Hawaiian, you can put pineapple in everything, I guess. But the problem, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, Italian pizza is, you have the flour, the pasta della pizza.
The crust.
The crust, the tomato sauce, and then the
Pepperoni.
mozzarella cheese, and that's the basic, and then you can build on top of it with some variations. American pizza is basically take everything that you have on the table and put it on it. That's the main difference. But I'm not saying I'm against American pizza. I'm saying that you just should change the name
to another thing. What do you suggest we should call it?
Zippa.
Zippa.
It's close enough.
Close enough, yeah.
But maybe you need like an A, like Azippa.
Azippa.
To indicate that it's American. A for America.
Maybe.
A.zippa.
A.zippa.com.
Can I have a zippa?
So Marco,
zippapod.com maybe.
So Marco, I know that that you are very much against having Pizza Hut pizza.
I like it as an exotic experience because I like the fact that it's so much stuff in it that you cannot even tell the difference between the ingredients. They have the super mega supreme, super supreme
with cheese in the crust.
I don't even know what's inside.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's like there's a party in my mouth and everybody's invited. That's for me the feeling of American.
Another interesting thing when we were eating with pizza with Marco is that you notice the way that people from different countries eat pizza.
That's right. Italian people fold their pizza.
We do fold, and another thing is that we have a whole pizza. Like if I order one pizza, it's not like I share, everybody has one slice of it. We order one pizza, you order your pizza, she order her pizza, and so on.
Pizza is personal.
Pizza is a personal thing. Don't mess with my pizza, Marco Zero.
All right, well, this whole pizza discussion, let's see what our listeners have to say about it. I know that we have listeners from all over the world, and what do they do with their pizzas?
Yes.
Or their zippas.
Or their zippas.
What do you like on your pizza?
Exactly. For example,
how high do you want the crust to be?
Thin.
How high?
Thin.
I know that, for example,
how thin you want your crust to be.
I know that, for example, in some countries they put ketchup on their pizza.
I know. Once I was eating I had a Japanese friend who ordered a pizza from Pizza Hut, and the pizza had the pineapple and other stuff on it, and then she took out like ketchup and mayonnaise. And she got like wild.
Although I must tell you, I like Tabasco on my pizza, and I know that's wrong. I know. I'm sorry, but I like it.
Well, you do what you have to do, Erica. Then, history will judge you for that.
All right, we better go. We're out of time. And before Marco has a heart attack or an aneurysm or something, we're making him angry here. And if you have any questions for us and also for Marco, because I'm sure he's going to be commenting on this aspect.
Sure.
So go to our comment section at englishpod.com.
And Marco Zero and I are always there to answer your questions. All right, everyone.
We'll see you there.
Goodbye.
Ciao. Bye.
Ciao.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you an advanced lesson for all of our advanced learners out there.
That's right. And in this lesson, we're visiting a history class.
Yes, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic that's known around the world, which is International Workers' Day.
That's right. And we're going to learn a little bit about the history of the workers' movement in the United States.
Right, but we're also going to be taking a look at some great words and, of course, a little bit more advanced or complicated structures.
That's right. So I guess without further ado, we can get started with the dialogue.
All right, everyone, settle down. Let's get started. As you know, an important aspect of becoming a good citizen is understanding the genesis of our legal system. It's not enough to simply memorize our laws. It's necessary that we comprehend why and how they were formed. This brings me to our topic for today. Does anyone know what we celebrate on May 1st?
Cinco de Mayo.
No, that's May 5th in Spanish, James. No wonder you're failing my Spanish class. No, May 1st is International Workers' Day.
Do we get a day off from school then?
No, it is not considered to be a national holiday here in the US, but in other countries it is.
Oh, man.
In the 19th century, working conditions were appalling, with workers being forced to work 10, 12, and 14 hours a day. Support for the 8-hour workday movement was growing rapidly, despite the indifference and hostility of many union leaders. And by April 1886, 250,000 workers were involved in the May Day movement. Previous legislative attempts to improve working conditions had failed, so labor organizers took drastic measures. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. And on May 1st, 1886, the resolution took effect.
Cool. Is that why we only work 8 hours now?
Yes, but the happy ending came at a high price. On May 3rd, 1886, police fired into a crowd of strikers at the McCormick Reaper Works factory, killing 4 and wounding many. A mass meeting was called for the next day to protest the brutality.
And then what happened?
Well, as we say, the rest is history.
All right, so we were in a history class and we learned something new, something interesting, right?
Yeah, International Workers' Day. It says it's not celebrated in the U.S., but in many other countries it is.
Right, on May 1st, a lot of people have a day off, so that's always good.
Yes.
All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the words that we saw in this dialogue, which were maybe a little bit different or difficult in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we're just going to look at 5 words here. And the first one, we talked about the genesis of the movement.
Right, Genesis.
Genesis.
Okay, so many of you may know that Genesis is a book in the Bible, right?
That's right, and that's where this word comes from. It's the first book in the Bible.
So it's the beginning.
Or the origin.
Origin. So that's a genesis. So the genesis of our legal system, you would say.
Right, or the genesis of this problem.
So it's the origin.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a formal word, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess maybe you can say the origin or the beginning.
Yeah, but maybe in an academic setting, you can talk about the genesis.
Yes, very good. All right, what do we have next?
Well, one of the reasons why the workers' movement got started was because of the appalling working conditions.
Appalling.
Appalling.
If something is appalling,
it's shockingly bad.
It's very, very bad.
Yeah.
So now if something is appalling, like the working conditions were appalling.
That's right.
You would feel appalled.
Exactly. I'm appalled at your behavior.
Okay. So it's almost like you are disgusted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Very, very strong word.
Yeah, very strong.
Okay. Okay, so the working conditions were appalling and people were setting up this movement, right? But what happened?
They met some hostility.
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 Hostility from the police, right?
That's right.
So what is hostility?
Hostility is the state of receiving an unfriendly reaction.
Okay.
They acted in a very unfriendly way, and it also suggests, a hint of violence even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody is hostile, they can maybe be aggressive and maybe to a point violent.
That's right.
Okay. So a hostile person.
Yeah, or a hostile environment, a dangerous environment.
Okay, hostility, hostile. Very good.
Yeah. Now, because of these appalling working conditions, the labor movement decided to take drastic measures.
Drastic measures.
Yeah, drastic measures. This is a really wonderful phrase, and I think it would help us to listen to a few examples of this phrase in use.
Example 1. The president was faced with some difficult decisions and was forced to take drastic measures to solve the crisis. Example 2.
The police took very drastic measures to control the protesters outside the government palace.
So we understand drastic measures as extreme actions or decisions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a saying that says desperate times call for drastic measures.
No, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Dang. Well, okay, but it goes around there somewhere, right?
Something like that.
If you really have an emergency, you need to do something drastic.
You have to take drastic measures, or you can even say take drastic action.
Okay. Very good. And what about our last word?
After the protests ended in violence, people started to get angry because of the brutality the police showed.
Okay, brutality.
Brutality.
So again, maybe brutality and hostility are maybe similar, right?
A little bit similar. So brutality is the state of being harsh or very forceful.
Okay, so brutality. Now, we also use the word brutal.
Right. So that means harsh or very forceful.
Now, sometimes we can use that word, but not in a harsh or forceful way, right?
Yeah, and it's quite, I might say something like, oh my God, that test was brutal.
It was brutal or...
So it was really hard or really difficult.
Right. So that's what you're saying with this word, that it's very hard or it was very intense.
Yeah, maybe one more example.
Okay, so for example, I can say, oh, I went for a run today and it was brutal. I'm so tired.
So it was really difficult.
Yeah. Brutal.
And Marco, is this something that's used by everyone?
That phrase, brutal, using in that context would be for younger people maybe. Not really, you wouldn't really hear older people using it like
So
that.
it's a little bit slangy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Great. So those are 5 interesting vocabulary words. As Marco mentioned, we want to look at some more difficult structures now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so we have some phrases that we saw in this dialogue. And, well, let's start with the first one.
Well, the teacher opens his discussion by talking about how an understanding of the legal system is an important aspect of being a good citizen.
Okay, an important aspect.
An important aspect.
So, well, maybe we know the word important, right? So what's
Obviously,
an aspect?
A part of something, an important part of something.
Okay, so the teacher started with an important aspect of and then specified the idea or what part it belongs to.
Right, so it usually follows this form. Noun is an important aspect of noun.
Okay.
So for example, quality control is an important aspect of keeping customers happy.
Okay, perfect. A part of. Very good. So aspect sounds a little bit more formal or just a lot more intelligent, right?
Yeah, professional. And actually, it's a wonderful way of setting up your idea.
So the teacher said that it's an important aspect of understanding the legal system was understanding its origins or its genesis.
Yep.
And then she moved on and said that it's not enough to simply memorize laws.
That's right. It's not enough to simply do something.
Okay. So the beginning of this sentence, it is not enough to simply something. By starting a sentence like this, you are indicating that more is required, right?
So here, it's not enough to simply memorize the laws. We're saying that most people just memorize the laws, but they need to go further.
And understand them.
Exactly.
Another example would be, it's not enough to simply pass your exams. You must get good grades as well.
Right. Or maybe in a business context. It's not enough to simply satisfy your customers. You must impress them.
Okay, very good. So that's a very good way of starting out this idea of more is required.
That's right. More is required.
All right.
All right. Well, I want to move on to one final point here. I found this sentence to be really, really interesting. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work.
Okay, so why is this interesting?
Well, I found that, there's 2 verbs going on here. They passed a resolution that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. So we've got 2 verb times going on here at the same time. And I'm wondering about this one would.
Okay, so what's happening here? Obviously, this happened in the past. It's like about 100 years ago, right?
Right. So the resolution was passed 100 years ago.
Right? So this is going on in the past.
Right.
But there was a future action that was going to happen in consequence of this.
Right. So the resolution stated that 8 hours would constitute. So it's like the primary action was the passing of the resolution. And the result is this sort of this event that happens in the past but is a future event to the first primary event. Does that make any sense at all?
So this is called the future in the past, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it's a grammar structure. Many of you maybe know the simple present or the future tenses, but this is a little strange one. And as we said, so maybe it's a little bit difficult to understand the grammar in general. So why don't we take a look at some more examples of how we would use this future in the past?
Example 1. The president said that he would cut taxes by 5%. Example 2.
I made a promise that I would not smoke anymore.
Example 3. Carl told me he would buy a new car.
Okay, so now I think it's clear this whole idea of the future and the past, and we'll also be answering any questions on the site if you have any problems, right?
That's right.
Okay, so why don't we listen to the dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk about this holiday, which is the International Workers' Day.
All right, everyone, settle down. Let's get started. As you know, an important aspect of becoming a good citizen is understanding the genesis of our legal system. It's not enough to simply memorize our laws. It's necessary that we comprehend why and how they were formed. This brings me to our topic for today. Does anyone know what we celebrate on May 1st?
Cinco de Mayo.
No, that's May 5th in Spanish, James. No wonder you're failing my Spanish class. No, May 1st is International Workers' Day.
Do we get a day off from school then?
No, it is not considered to be a national holiday here in the U.S., but in other countries it is.
Oh, man.
In the 19th century, working conditions were appalling, with workers being forced to work 10, 12, and 14 hours a day. Support for the 8-hour workday movement was growing rapidly, despite the indifference and hostility of many union leaders. And by April 1886, 250,000 workers were involved in the May Day movement. Previous legislative attempts to improve working conditions had failed, so labor organizers took drastic measures. They passed a resolution stating that 8 hours would constitute a legal day's work. And on May 1st, 1886, the resolution took effect.
Cool. Is that why we only work 8 hours now?
Yes, but the happy ending came at a high price. On May 3rd, 1886, police fired into a crowd of strikers at the McCormick Reaper Works factory, killing 4 and wounding many. A mass meeting was called for the next day to protest the brutality.
And then what happened?
Well, as we say, the rest is history.
All right, so Erica, in Canada, do you celebrate this?
We do, but not on May 1st.
Oh, really? When is it?
The first weekend in September.
Oh, really? And why?
I am not 100% sure. I think it's because we already have a long weekend in May because because on the 24th of May is the Queen Victoria's birthday, so we have to celebrate that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we can't have 2 vacations in the same month.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not productive, right?
Exactly. What about in Ecuador?
Yeah, we do. On May 1st, it's a holiday, and we actually have 2 holidays in May as well, because on the 24th, we actually celebrate the Battle of Pichincha, which is one of the decisive battles for the independence of Ecuador. So we don't mind having 2 holidays in the same month.
Well, it sounds like Ecuador has a better holiday schedule than Canada. So
no, it is. So yeah, on May 1st, people take vacations, or companies usually on May 1st will do something special for their employees.
Oh, that's kind of a nice gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like it's Workers' Day, so they'll set up maybe a barbecue or a trip or something like that. So that's what usually happens on May 1st.
Great. Well, what about in your countries, listeners? Do you celebrate May Day?
May Day.
Yeah.
May 1st, right? And if you do, well, let us know. Come to our website, englishpod.com, and leave your questions and comments there as well.
That's right. Well, thanks for downloading this lesson. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners, and welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we are joined in our studio with Pete.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Pete is one of our voice actors for many of our dialogues, and he is a very talented voice actor.
No, you're too kind, Marco. No.
So we always have fun with Pete here in the studio.
Okay, well, in today's news show, we are going to talk about some really important and upcoming exciting news here at English Pod. The first thing we want to do is tell you about our user of the week. We're going to talk to you a little bit about English Pod groups, and then we're going to tell you about our upcoming lessons for next week. So, Marco, maybe you can take the honors of announcing our user of the week.
All right. The user of the week is McAllis.
McAllis.
It's been long overdue, but McAllis has been a great user helping out a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, that's true. McAllis writes excellent answers to user questions. I really like how he uses different font colors to help explain his points.
Yes, and also he gives us the insight on British English.
That's really important because Marco and I speak American English, so we really appreciate McAllis's insights into British English.
And now for our star learner of the week. I'm Stephen Lee.
I'm Stephen Lee.
I'm Stephen Lee is a really great member of the community also, and his picture is interesting. It's all in green.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's a really good listener, and he asks a lot of questions. And so good job, I'm Stephen Lee.
Yeah, you know what? I'd like to point out something here. When users like I'm Stephen Lee ask questions in the comment section of our lesson page, they really help out everyone, right?
Yeah.
Because if one person has a question, it's very, very likely that 100 other people are going to have the same question. So I'm Stephen Lee. You've been really brave, asking a lot of great questions, and we really appreciate it.
And another really interesting thing to point out is that he is a member of the Mandarin speakers group.
Yeah, that's right. And that brings us to our next topic for today. And we want to tell you a little bit more about English Pod groups.
All right, so groups is a really important thing. And Pete has a lot of experience with groups in Chinese Pod. So, Pete, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your experience with the groups in the community?
My experience in Chinese Pod is that the groups, particularly groups united around a certain interest or made of people from a certain common location, there's a nice thing about them, which is that they tend to attract people from all different levels of study. If you're just leaving comments on particular lessons, you're probably only going to hang around with and only meet maybe the same handful of people over and over again. But if you go to these groups, you often find yourself bumping into some unfamiliar faces who are maybe a little further along on their studies or maybe a little bit behind you.
Okay, but that gives a good opportunity for you to learn from advanced users and also from more beginners.
Right, it just creates a little more blending and a little more sharing.
Okay, that's good.
So we've got some great groups on English Pod right now. One of my favorites is a group devoted to music lyrics or the words of famous and popular songs.
Yeah, I saw some of those. There was even some on High School Musical.
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, some really interesting grammar points came up in one of these groups. So that's something I'm really interested in.
Songs are a great way to learn.
Yeah. And there's another one that's a little bit more advanced, but it's an also interesting group. It's a group on Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
So for all those advanced listeners that maybe want to get a little bit of insight on this really popular writer, you can go into this group and we're just talking about different scenes from Shakespeare, different plays. So it's really interesting.
Great. So we've just talked a little bit about groups that are based around a interest, but we also have groups around regions. And so I want to challenge our English Pod listeners to create a group for their city.
Okay.
You know what? We've got a lot of listeners who are in Shanghai.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of listeners in Shanghai. And a lot of listeners in Sao Paulo.
Oh, wow. We have Brazilian listeners.
That's true. And in Hanoi, there's a lot of listeners there.
Wow.
So I want to see groups from Shanghai, Sao Paulo, and Hanoi.
Yeah, if there's a group from Sao Paulo or something, I would definitely join.
Okay. So.
And if there's a group from Shanghai, I'll join.
Yeah.
All right, well, listeners, this is your challenge. Start a group for your region.
We have some great lessons next week, and our friend Pete is the star of many of them. So, Pete, why don't you tell us about some of your favorite lessons?
One star in a beautiful constellation. I guess my favorite lesson is one about lending money and talking about some economic tough times and a guy's trying to get some money.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to say that Pete did all the voice acting in this lesson, and he did an amazing job. So this lesson coming next week called I'm in Debt. Listen and see Pete's star acting.
Yeah, and we also have another great lesson about money as well, and it's about spending money.
That's right. So next week we've got 2 lessons coming that have a lot of language to do with money.
Our third lesson next week is about voicemail.
Yeah, and this is a great lesson because a lot of English learners struggle with telephone language. So this is going to be a really great lesson to help you be able to leave a good voicemail message.
Okay, well, 3 exciting lessons coming next week.
Yeah, but remember that we also want to know what you want to learn. So don't forget to go onto our website, send us a message, or post a comment about what you want to learn. Maybe you want a lesson about going to the barbershop, so we can do something on that.
Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Remember to go to our website at englishpod.com where you can learn all about these lessons we've just talked about. And remember, create a group this week.
Okay.
Thank you. You've been a fantastic audience.
All right. We'll see everyone next week. And until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
EnglishPod.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
Ciao Marco, grande Marco.
No.
Bravo. I am here with Marco from Italian Pod.
Hi, ciao everyone.
Hola, Marco from Italian Pod.
And Leo from Spanish Pod.
Hey, hello.
Grande Leo di Spanish Pod.
Grande Spanish. And all the pods again here in This Just In. So let's talk about the lessons.
Okay, lessons. Which lessons do we have?
All right, lesson numero 1. Next week, we have a lesson about asking for permission.
All right, asking for permission, to your dad?
Exactly.
Or to the teacher.
No, for your dad.
To your boss?
No, it's like
security guard. I don't know.
Well, it's a girl asking for the car, actually.
Oh.
Do you remember those times when you had to ask your dad or your mom for the car?
No, because in the country where I live, you have to be 18 to drive a car.
You didn't drive before you were 18?
No.
Marco,
I didn't.
Come on, you got your license revoked once.
Yeah, well, that's another story.
Yeah, but in the United States, you can drive legally when you're about 15 or 16.
Yeah, I never got that.
16,
you cannot drink until you're 21, but you can drive at 15. It's crazy.
You can get your learner's permit at 15.
Really?
Yeah, in some states.
So you're going to talk about that too?
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that in the lesson as well.
I started driving when I was 14. Viva Mexico!
And you were driving. You were driving trucks, big trucks, all the way to the border.
That was racist. All right, and we'll also have part 3 of New Guy in Town.
All right.
The kind of the suspense thriller lesson that we have about some sort of vampire guy.
Vampire?
Yeah.
What is this?
You've never heard New Guy in Town?
No, man.
Come on.
Tell me about it.
Everybody knows about it.
Everyone knows New Guy in Town.
But for users who don't know about it, it's a series about vampires.
Wow.
Kind of. It's kind of scary. You have this guy, you don't really know who he is.
Spooky.
There's a lot of screeching doors, right?
Yeah, a lot of and crows. Yeah.
Spicy.
No. That was how do you say it was uncalled for.
Do you want to start over, Marco? So seal the line again.
Yeah, you can't use Marco's line before him.
Especially about spooky. It was not spicy. We didn't say anything spicy. Spicy, you have to know how to use it.
Sorry. I'll get to
It's like a lethal weapon, if it falls in the wrong hands.
Yeah,
it'd be a terrible disaster.
Exactly. And Friday's lesson, it's really interesting, and it's one of my favorite subjects, bargaining.
Spicy! Is it bargaining at an exotic market?
No, not bargaining at an exotic market.
Not spicy.
But we're going to be teaching you great words about how you can bargain, how you can ask for a better price. And, it's really important in some countries.
Yeah. Are you going to teach us special price for you, my friend? That sentence?
No. Well, yeah, actually, we do use that sentence. And in countries like China or in countries like, our countries like Ecuador, Mexico, you definitely have to.
Italy too, huh?
You have to bargain, right? Especially if you're a tourist.
I guess everywhere, markets, where you have markets. You can go.
So, those are the 3 lessons coming out next week. They're really good. Be sure to come and listen.
I'll come and listen.
All right, you better.
I want to know what this vampire is about.
It's really good. What else do we have? And our user of the week.
User of the week!
Yeah!
Our user of the week for this week is Wolfgang700.
Yeah. Is it a he or a she?
It's a he, and I think he's from Germany.
Wolfgang.
Yeah, it sounds pretty German.
He's
congratulations, Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Why did he become user of the week?
Well, he started commenting a lot on the site, asking some really good questions. His English is pretty good as well, so he's really helped out a lot.
Bravo, Wolfgang.
Yes.
Bravo, Wolfgang.
Very good.
And all our other users, keep up the good work. Everyone is commenting a lot.
Oh, Maxim
is doing the transcript.
Bravo, because
Maxim.
Maxim really kept up to his
promise. Yeah. So next week, definitely he'll be doing it for all 3 lessons, right?
Of course. Now he's stuck.
He's gonna have to do it.
He set the standards. He can just go up and up and up.
All right.
And then he'll become an employee of English Pod.
Yeah, exactly.
After 1 year of slavery.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. All right. Now for some updates. We have some really interesting news about our new website.
Right. What happened to that new website?
All right. Well, we had a little bit of difficulty, so actually we have a recording of what happened to the website.
Let's listen to it.
I want to hear that.
Hey, is the new website ready?
Yeah, come over here and check this out.
So what new features does it have?
Wow, a lot of great stuff. Like, for example... Wait, this is weird. Web page isn't opening.
What's going on? Click on it again. I want to see it.
It says fatal error. Run!
No! That's incredible.
No.
Incredible.
It exploded.
Yeah, and 2 of our programmers or tech guys didn't make it.
Yeah,
it's a sad moment in podcast history. Actually, I think we should dedicate this podcast to the memory of Little Jade and Southern Cloud, which are the 2 engineers, Southern Clouds of the IT skies.
Yeah,
are the 2 engineers, IT tech guys.
So should we do it like
died in the fire?
A second of silence?
Yeah, a second of silence because we can't do a whole minute in a podcast, right?
Okay, we're back.
All right.
Bravo.
No, but seriously, we have to delay the launch of the new site because it wasn't ready yet, and we want to give you a really good site that's going to have a lot of great features. So it'll be ready soon. Don't worry about it. We'll keep you updated.
Exactly. Like, this data transfer, it's complicated, guys. Believe me, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the tech guys...
So yes, we apologize for the mistake, but... believe us, it's in your best interest because you didn't want to go on a website that could explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just contaminate every computer in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Seriously. It was like
the English Pod virus. You don't want that.
There's some good news, isn't it?
There is some good news. Since we're not launching the website yet, the prices are going to stay the same.
Yes!
So that means that we're going to keep the same low prices until we launch the new website.
And all the family of Little Jade and Southern Clouds of the IT skies, they have a free account, and the whole families of the victims can learn English for free.
For free, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
A minute of the silence for the families.
I mean it.
All right, so yeah, that's the good news, guys. Don't worry, we'll keep you updated. We'll be bringing you more information about how the new website is going. And so be sure to listen. All right, guys, so we're out of time. We'll see you next time. And come to our website, englishpod.com. Leave your questions and comments. And also listen to our great new lessons that are coming out next week.
Yeah, vampires.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Ciao.
englishpod.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today with Erica, we have a very aggressive lesson for you today.
That's true. We've got a revolutionary lesson.
Yes, today at English Pod, we're protesting. So, Erica, why don't you tell us what a protest is?
Well, when you protest something, you go into the streets and show your disagreement.
Right, and you yell and you have signs and everyone's just protesting.
And the news comes and if it's not clear now, it'll be clear after the dialogue, I'm sure.
Definitely. So why don't we start with our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
We have 2 words in our vocabulary preview today. The first is bankrupt.
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 So if a company goes bankrupt, what happens?
It means the company doesn't have any more money.
So it can't pay salaries.
It can't pay
Can't pay its bills, yeah. So basically, if it's bankrupt, it's probably going to close.
Exactly.
Okay, our second word today is bailout.
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 B-A-I-L, bailout.
So a bailout is when the government gives money to a company that is about to go bankrupt.
That's true. It's emergency money that will help save the company. Well, these 2 words are taken directly from our dialogue. And in today's dialogue, we're going to bring you live to a newscast.
Right. So why don't we just listen to the dialogue?
This is Action 5 News reporter Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, Sarah O'Connell, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Wow, these people are really angry.
I think they're furious.
Well, I think they have some good points, and we'll talk about that later. But now,
it's time for language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Yeah, there was some great language in this dialogue. A lot of language we use to express our anger.
Right. And one of those words, and the first one for language takeaway, is injustice.
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 An injustice.
So an injustice is something that isn't fair.
It's totally unfair.
It's unfair, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is an injustice. Let's look at our second word, outrage.
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 An outrage.
So Erica, why don't you give us an example on how you would use outrage?
There's no more coffee. This is an outrage.
Yeah, there we go. That's an outrage. Okay.
Let's go to our next word now.
Breakout.
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 So we have some great examples on how we use breakout. So let's listen.
Example 1.
War is broken out in Antarctica as countries of the world fight for control of the icy continent.
Example 2.
Officials are warning that fighting could break out in the border regions.
Example 3.
A forest fire broke out last night.
Well, this is a wonderful phrasal verb that means...
to begin suddenly.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Breakout.
Let's go to our next word now.
Mismanaged.
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 So when something is mismanaged, it's...
not managed properly.
Managed poorly.
Poorly, right.
Yeah. Our final word today is...
have the nerve to.
Have the nerve to.
have the nerve to.
I think this one also is a little bit difficult to understand.
Yeah, but we have some great examples prepared for you, so let's listen to them.
Example 1.
I've been in love with you since the 3rd grade, but I didn't have the nerve to tell you.
Example 2.
I don't believe it. You have the nerve to ask me for money when you know I've just lost my job.
Example 3.
What? You have the nerve to bring your new girlfriend to visit my mother.
So have the nerve to is like dare to do something, right?
Yeah, how dare you?
Yeah.
Have the nerve to. It's like, I can't believe you would do that.
Yeah, I think that's quite clear. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of great words in our dialogue today. And also, we have some really interesting grammar in today's dialogue.
Right. So today, let's look at some grammar breakdown.
Grammar breakdown.
In this section, grammar breakdown, we show you a particular grammar structure and explain a little bit about how that structure affects meaning. So it's not really about getting the grammar perfectly right. It's about understanding the meaning.
Right. And in today's lesson, we saw some really great examples on how we use the present perfect tense.
Let's listen to an example from the dialogue.
Where a protest has broken out. Where a protest has broken out.
See the verb here, break out, like a protest has broken out, happened in the past, right?
Right.
And it's still going on now.
Exactly.
So present perfect is used when we're talking about an event that happened in the past and is continuing on now.
Exactly.
Or is continuing to affect now.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, but now if you want to indicate or if you want to demonstrate that the action has finished, the event is over, then you would say it like this.
A protest broke out. A protest broke out.
In this form, you see that the protest is over. It happened yesterday already.
Right, and I think it's really emphasizing the fact that it is no longer affecting the present moment.
Exactly. So remember the difference between present perfect and simple past. Now, if you want to know more about these tenses, present perfect and simple past, be sure to go to our website at englishpod.com. In the grammar section, you can find some more great examples and a really clear explanation on how these tenses are formed. But now we are ready to listen to our dialogue a second time.
This is Action 5 News reporter Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C., where a protest has broken out. Thousands of angry citizens are protesting against the proposed bailout of the auto manufacturing industry. Sir, Sarah O'Connell, Channel 5 News, can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, we're here because we feel this is an injustice. The financial irresponsibility of big business has to stop. We're here to show the government that we don't like the way they're spending our tax dollars.
Sir, but what exactly is making everyone so angry?
It's an absolute outrage, Sarah. The U.S. government wants to give $25 billion of taxpayers' money to the auto industry. These are companies that have been mismanaged and are now nearly bankrupt.
I see. But many supporters of the bailout argue that it could help save the jobs of millions of hardworking Americans.
That may be true, and I, for one, don't want to see anyone lose their job. But how can these CEOs ask for a bailout when they're making millions of dollars? And then they have the nerve to fly to Washington in private jets. This costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're asking for money. That is just not right.
Good point. This is Sarah O'Connell reporting live from Washington, D.C. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, Erica, so what do you think about this situation?
about the bailout of the auto industry.
Yes.
I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
There's so many reasons. I mean, I don't think it's fair for us as taxpayers. Well, I guess I'm not really an American taxpayer, but I don't think it's fair for the taxpayers to have to pay for the mismanagement of these companies. I mean, they've got so much debt. They've produced cars that nobody really wants to buy, and now they're in trouble, and it's not our money that should be spent on saving them.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, but you do have to take into consideration the fact that if these companies go bankrupt, thousands of people will lose their jobs. And not only the people that work at the factories, but also people that work for other companies that supply these factories.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Marco, but at the same time, we can't support an industry that isn't working properly. I mean, if one of these companies goes bankrupt, it's going to be terrible, but it will force the other two companies, perhaps, to manage themselves better, to streamline and become more efficient. I just think it will be better in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be, but also maybe all three companies can go bankrupt. It would be sad because the American auto industry is a symbol of prosperity.
Yeah.
It's also the symbol of like the American culture in general.
I guess that's true.
So it would be a shame for it to go bankrupt because everyone owns a car in the United States, or most people, and it's just something that we can't lose. But it is an interesting topic, and we also want to know your opinions about this.
Yeah, listeners, please come to our website at englishpod.com and tell us what you think about this bailout and about this lesson.
On the website, we'll post a link to the news article where you can read a little bit more about this because this is actually going on now.
That's true. Well, everyone, thanks for listening, and until next time, goodbye.
Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of This Just In.
Another spicy episode of This Just In.
Spicy episode. I'm here in the studio with Marco from Italian Pod.
Hi, my name is Marco from Italian Pod.
Exactly. And Leo from Spanish Pod.
Hello.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Grande Leo. Grande Leo.
Spanish Pod.
Spanish Pod. Spanish Pod, Italian Pod, and English Pod back.
All together to give us the news of Justin.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly.
So the first news.
All right, we have our next week's lessons.
Lesson number 1.
We have a lesson about the emergency room.
Emergency.
ER.
So if you ever have to go to the ER, now we're going to teach you vocabulary that you can tell the doctor.
Like, I'm dying.
Like, I'm dying.
Like, did you ever wonder what ER means? It's emergency room.
Emergency room, right.
Yay.
So it's going to be a dramatic dialogue. It's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of...
Spicy.
No, that's spicy.
Stop that, man.
I'm just jealous. Because you didn't come up with a catchword like that.
Yeah.
What do you have, Leo?
¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? Ah, that's good.
All right.
Lesson number 2.
Lesson number 2, just in time philosophy.
So is it like being punctual?
No, it's more of a business-related dialogue. It's more serious, not so much drama, not so much comedy. It's more of a business dialogue.
So if I want to get bored outside of the office, I should listen to this podcast.
Wow, come on.
If you want to learn more about business and about what this strategy means and what it implicates, then you can listen to it.
There's people who care about business, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, especially in these times. We need those people.
We need to learn new strategies.
Yeah, just in time.
All right.
Lesson number 3.
And lesson number 3, the most fun lesson of this week, is Carnival in Rio.
Brazil.
Na, 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 na.
So that is a spicy lesson.
And shaky.
And shaky.
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 Okay.
So we're gonna be able to listen to some samba music. We're gonna have dancing, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what Carnival in Rio is all about.
That's when I really regret that we don't have video casts.
Yeah. We'll be coming out with something soon, so don't worry about it.
Are we going to Rio?
Maybe not Rio, but maybe we'll have our own little carnival in
a brothel.
Spicy? No, that's too spicy.
It's too spicy.
I just burnt.
In a cabaret.
No.
All right. All right.
Anywho, so what about the new things?
All right, we have some more news about our new website that's coming out.
Dude, I took a look at it. It looks amazing.
Isn't it cool?
It's so like interactive. Like you have to have friends and stuff, and
It's super cool.
It's super cool. It'll be.
It's the new Facebook.
It's the.
it's a
kind of-
Facebook for people who learn English.
So
you want-
Facebook for people who have something to do. So
Yeah.
it's a useful Facebook.
It's a useful Facebook.
Exactly.
So you'll be able to have friends on the new site. You'll be able to see what lessons they've studied, where they've commented.
A community of learning English.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Finally, we have something to do on the internet. We don't just go online and see what happens.
Exactly. And we're also going to have now exercises where you can practice the lesson. And the really cool thing is you're going to be able to take a small little test to see what your English level is like.
Nice.
I'm going to do that. And I'm going to beat you, Leo.
Try it.
So a lot of new features are going to be added, and it's going to be really, really good.
Okay, so...
And the user of the week is...
Okay, our user of the week, and also he is the user of the month. It's Maxim.
No. The user of the month was Kimi.
No, that was user of the week.
Oh.
So how many users do we have?
We have user of the month each month, and we have 4 users of the week. All right.
So user of the month, Maxim, grande congratulations, and keep up the good work, whatever he did.
Hopefully we'll be able to have Skype calls with our users of the week or users of the month. So we'll be able to record them and then we'll play it on our new show.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a great title, but it's, you should be able to... It's also a responsibility, no? You're like a user of the week. It's not just, thank you. No, you have to prove yourself.
You have to work harder and comment more.
I'm worth of that title. Like Kimik did a great job, eh?
Yeah.
He last week, a great ambassador that I read his proposal. Ambassador of world peace.
Of world peace through language learning.
Yeah, that proves, for example, that he would totally deserve the title of user of the week.
he worked hard for that.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Maxime, we expect a lot from you.
Oh yeah, no, he did a great job. He transcribed an entire lesson onto the website.
Wow.
So he listened to everything we said and he typed it. Yeah. Pretty good, huh? So anyways.
So we expect 2 lessons transcribed next
2 lessons transcribed next week.
Joking.
Are you ready to take the, what do you call it?
The English Pod Challenge?
The English Pod Challenge.
All right, anything else that you guys want to add or you want to say? Any news? Tomorrow, Valentine's Day, what are you guys doing?
Right now, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. What the hell? What should I do?
You should
guys, help me out here.
Well, you have a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, we don't have a girlfriend. See, so we can't really do anything.
All right,
but you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, so I should do something.
Depressing, man.
I hate Valentine's Day.
If any girl out there likes my voice, could you just go out with me on Valentine's Day?
You can write him an email at pompino69@gmail.com.
All right, so Marco, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your girlfriend?
I don't know. I have no idea. Guys, help me out here.
Romantic dinners are always a good idea.
Expensive.
Okay. How about cooking for her? Too much work.
My girlfriend only likes salads.
Well, that's easy then.
Yeah. Just buy a lettuce and some tomatoes. And that's it.
Or you can make a really nice
throw it into her face.
Salmon salad.
The problem is that if I do this once, she'll expect it often.
Or just go out of town.
Without her. Without telling her anything and just come back the following day. Great advice. Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome.
Yeah, English pod saving another life.
All right, guys.
All right, so I hope you guys have a good Valentine's Day. If you have wives, girlfriends, be sure to send her some flowers.
Even lovers.
Even lovers or mistresses, right?
If you don't have anything, just join us. We're going to party all night long. And
yeah, we're going to be at a singles party somewhere.
I'll be out of town. I'll be in your town.
All right, so have a good Valentine's Day, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you later.
Ciao.
English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And we're bringing you a very advanced lesson today.
That's right. We're talking about another business topic, aren't we?
It's a topic that's kind of popular these days, all about efficiency and reducing costs. So we're going to be talking about the just-in-time philosophy.
I don't know much about this philosophy, so good thing we've got Marco here.
Well, what we are going to be looking at is not really in-depth. We're just going to be looking at some basic points of what a just-in-time philosophy would be like in a company.
Mm-hmm. But what we're really going to be looking at is the language to do with this philosophy, right?
Exactly. We're going to be looking at some technical terms and some other useful phrases that you can use when you are talking in a business setting.
Okay, well, why don't we get started with the language then?
Okay, let's take a look at vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
On vocabulary preview today, we have the word lead time.
Lead time.
Lead time.
L-E-A-D, lead. Lead time.
Right, like lead. This is something that factories usually would use.
Yeah. I guess lead time is the time in between point A and point B on a production schedule, right?
Right. So you could have, for example, production lead time.
So that's the time between when you make an order and when the product is finished.
Exactly. And you could also have delivery lead time.
So the time between when you place an order and when the product gets delivered to you.
So depending on the companies, you have different lead times. Some are 3 days, other are 5 days, other are 45 days.
And we at English Pod have a 2-week lead time for our podcast, right?
But our delivery lead time is every other day.
That's true.
Nice. Okay, that's all we're going to be previewing today. So why don't we just listen to the dialogue and then we'll come back and explain some of these tricky vocabulary words that we'll see.
I called this meeting today in order to discuss our manufacturing plan. As I'm sure you're all aware, with the credit crunch and the global financial crisis, we're obligated to look for more cost-efficient ways of producing our goods. We don't want to have to be looking at redundancies, so we've outlined a brief plan to implement the just-in-time philosophy.
We have 2 basic points that we want to focus on. First of all, we want to reduce our lead time.
Why would we want to do that? I think this is not an area that really needs to be worked on.
Well, we want to reduce production and delivery lead times for better overall efficiency.
Right. Production lead times can be reduced by moving workstations closer together, reducing queue length, like, for example, reducing the number of jobs waiting to be processed at a given machine, and improving the coordination and cooperation between successive processes. Delivery lead times can be reduced through close cooperation with suppliers, possibly by inducing suppliers to locate closer to the factory or working with a faster shipping company.
I see. That makes sense.
The second point is that we want to require supplier quality assurance and implement a zero defects quality program. We currently have far too many errors that lead to defective items, and therefore, they must be eliminated. A quality control at the source program must be implemented to give workers personal responsibility for the quality of the work they do and the authority to stop production when something goes wrong.
I'm with you on this one. It's essential that we reduce these errors. We've got to force our suppliers to reduce their mistakes.
Exactly. Well, let's look at how we're going to put this plan into action. First,
Okay, so they're going to implement just-in-time in their company.
Yes. Yeah, I guess they're putting in some cost control measures. So Marco, there's some great language in here. Why don't we look at it now and language takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Okay, the first word today, redundancies.
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 So this is kind of a strange word because usually a redundancy is when you're speaking, right?
Yeah, maybe when you say something that's already been said.
Exactly. You say something that has already been said. But we also use it in the business world.
Right. And it comes from the base word redundant, right?
Okay.
Meaning extra, more than what's needed.
Okay.
So when a person or a position is made redundant, basically it means they get laid off, right?
Right. So redundancies are a synonym of layoffs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at our next word. Workstations.
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 So a workstation could be anything from your desk.
Yeah, or maybe a workbench.
A workbench.
or even a place on a production line.
Right. So you're a certain machine or something like
Yeah.
that.
So basically, a workstation is the area where you work.
Okay. Okay. So you can say, can we get a new workstation for the new team member?
Mm-hmm. Or I could say, I want to move my workstation closer to my employees.
All right. So workstation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's take a look at our next word. At a given machine.
At a given machine.
At a given.
At a given.
This is an interesting way to say at any machine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, given here is operating exactly the same as here. The word given is operating exactly the same way as any.
As any.
Yep.
Okay, so let's listen to some examples of how we can change it up a little bit and we can use this given word.
Example 1. In this factory, how many cars are in production at any given time?
Example 2.
On any given day, about 40 million people use the internet.
Example 3. Firefighters have to be ready to attend an emergency at any given moment.
All right, so any given time, at any given moment.
Yep. Any given day.
Okay, now let's take a look at our last word today. Defective.
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 So if something is defective,
it has a problem with it.
It has a problem.
Yeah.
We can say defective is an adjective.
Right. And the noun is defect.
Defect.
Yeah.
So if something has a defect, it is defective.
Right. So for example, maybe you produce chairs and you make one and this chair is missing a wheel.
Okay, so it's defective.
Yes. The defect is the missing wheel.
The defect is the okay. So before we listen to our dialogue again, I want to take a look at this phrase. I'm with you on this one.
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 So what does that mean exactly? I'm with you on this one.
I agree with you.
I agree with you on this point.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you agree with somebody on a certain point, you would say, "Oh, I'm with you on this one. I agree with you."
Exactly.
Okay. So now let's listen to our dialogue again, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about the history of this just in time.
I called this meeting today in order to discuss our manufacturing plan. As I'm sure you're all aware, with the credit crunch and the global financial crisis, we're obligated to look for more cost-efficient ways of producing our goods. We don't want to have to be looking at redundancies, so we've outlined a brief plan to implement the just-in-time philosophy.
We have two basic points that we want to focus on. First of all, we want to reduce our lead time.
Why would we want to do that? I think this is not an area that really needs to be worked on.
Well, we want to reduce production and delivery lead times for better overall efficiency.
Right. Production lead times can be reduced by moving workstations closer together, reducing queue length, like, for example, reducing the number of jobs waiting to be processed at a given machine, and improving the coordination and cooperation between successive processes. Delivery lead times can be reduced through close cooperation with suppliers, possibly by inducing suppliers to locate closer to the factory or working with a faster shipping company.
I see. That makes sense.
The second point is that we want to require supplier quality assurance and implement a zero defects quality program. We currently have far too many errors that lead to defective items, and therefore, they must be eliminated. A quality control at the source program must be implemented to give workers personal responsibility for the quality of the work they do and the authority to stop production when something goes wrong.
I'm with you on this one. It's essential that we reduce these errors. We've got to force our suppliers to reduce their mistakes.
Exactly. Well, let's look at how we're going to put this plan into action. First,
All right, so Marco, I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson that I don't know much about just in time, but luckily you do, right?
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
So tell me a little bit about where this philosophy came from. What are the origins of this idea?
It actually became really popular with Toyota, and it was called the Toyota production system. So many people think it's Japanese, but in reality, the Japanese got it from the United States. It's a philosophy that was thought up by Ford Motor Company in order to improve their production line. But when the Japanese visited Ford Motor Company, it wasn't fully implemented yet. And oddly enough, they found this philosophy working already in a Piggly Wiggly.
What's a Piggly Wiggly?
Piggly Wiggly was a chain of grocery stores in the United States.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're still around, but yeah, they were really big. And basically, Piggly Wiggly was using this to improve their whole system of shipping and of stocking and everything.
Okay, so how does it work?
So basically, what you try to do is make your processes more efficient, reduce the amount of space you're using, etc. And this was really important for Japanese because, of course, they don't have that much space in Japan to have these huge warehouses like in other countries.
So what you're saying is they're producing goods just for the time they need it, right?
Exactly. So trying to not be overstocked.
Yeah.
Or
have like a long lead time or something.
Long lead times where you have to keep something like in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so efficient. And also it's about improving the efficiency between processes. So what's sometimes called a bottleneck. You can have really good processes in the beginning, but in the end, maybe you have only one workstation that's taking all these orders and everything gets bottled up and it causes delays.
Slow, yeah. So in the dialogue, they want to implement the just-in-time strategy as a way of avoiding redundancies. But it sounds to me like actually this might cause redundancies sometimes.
Well, yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes when you make workstations more efficient or when you make all your processes work more fluidly, sometimes inevitably you will have to lay off some people that are redundant.
Okay. Have you ever worked in a company where they've implemented just in time?
No, actually, I've never really worked at a place where this philosophy was working, but I did used to work at a place where we had Six Sigma, which is a little bit similar. Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll need a lesson on Six Sigma in the future.
Yeah, we'll see if we come out with Six Sigma and what it means, and it's kind of interesting, but we want to hear what you think.
Yes. Have you guys worked in a place where they use just in time?
Exactly. Or if you have any quality control measures, or how does your company avoid having defective items or defective services?
So visit our website, englishpod.com, and Marco and I are always around to respond to your comments and answer your questions.
Exactly. So until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you our great suspense, scary series.
Our thriller. New Guy in Town, Part 4. All right. Well, I don't want to give you any hints about what will happen in this dialogue.
Yes, it's totally unexpected. So let's listen to our dialogue, and then we'll come back and talk about some of the great vocabulary.
All right, drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch! You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois. We know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me.
Run!
Well, I certainly didn't see that one coming.
I Now, everyone thought that Armand was a vampire.
I know.
And now it turns out that they were acting.
Yeah, crazy.
Crazy, huh?
Strange things happen here on English Pod.
All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the language that we saw in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Well, we have 3 words for you here that we heard in the dialogue. And the first one, Armand tells Ellen to drag her over here.
Right, drag.
Drag.
So when you drag something or somebody,
you pull them across the floor or pull them across the ground.
Pull them, but you don't actually pick them up, right?
No,
right?
Yeah. Their body is still touching the ground.
Okay, so just imagine if you have a really heavy suitcase, it doesn't have any wheels, you gotta drag it across the floor.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been there.
Yeah, it's happened to me too.
Yeah.
So drag.
All right. And then he says, tie her up.
Tie her up.
Tie somebody up.
So to tie somebody up.
To use rope and put it around a person so that they cannot move.
Right. So you take rope, you tie a person up. And it's always used like this, right? Tie somebody up.
Yes.
Tie him up.
Tie that up.
Tie that up.
Yeah.
Okay. And our last word.
I like this one. Fools.
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 So our singular would be fool.
Yeah. F-O-O-L.
So what's a fool?
Well, a fool is a stupid person.
Right. A person that doesn't know something or an ignorant person.
All right, well, Lois thinks that Armand and Ellen are fools here.
Exactly. Apparently, she got really angry and managed to escape from the chair or whatever, where she was tied up, right? Well, the dialogue was a little bit fast. There was a lot of sound effects as well.
Yep.
So let's listen to this dialogue again. We're going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit easier to understand.
All right, drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch. You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois, we know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me.
Run!
Well, Marco, I noticed in this dialogue, there's a lot of words and phrases that we can use to talk about lying or fooling somebody.
Exactly. There is a lot of language about lying. So let's take a look at it in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right. So in Fluency Builder today, let's take a look at 4 phrases. The first one, fell for it.
Fell for it.
I can't believe she fell for it.
Fell for it.
Okay, so it's not that she physically fell, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
But she believed the lie.
She believed the lie. You fell for the lie.
Yeah.
I know that we have some examples so we can understand this phrase, fell for it, a little bit better.
Example 1.
He might seem like a nice guy, but don't fall for it. He's a jerk.
Example 2.
I can't believe I fell for your lies.
Example 3.
I told my mom I was going to the library, and she fell for it.
All right, well, that's a lot clearer to me. I noticed that we have the preposition it here.
Yeah, it is at the end, and it's referring to the lie.
Yes.
Or the joke. Or the story.
Yeah.
She fell for the story, but you wouldn't say she fell for the story. You would say she fell for it.
Yeah, so these 3 words always go together. Fell for it. So don't forget the it.
Don't forget the it. Okay, let's take a look at our second word. Gullible.
So Ellen thinks that Lois was gullible.
Right, a gullible person.
Yeah, gullible.
A gullible person is somebody that always believes.
Yes, they always fall for it.
They always fall for it.
Yeah.
They believe anything you say. So I know you were a little bit gullible when you were younger, right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what? My grandmother used to tell me every year, she would say, oh, I'm 35. I'm 35. And I really believed her until I was about 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were really gullible.
Really gullible.
But you're not anymore.
No, I know better.
All right, so gullible, a gullible person. Okay, now let's look at the next phrase. The cat's out of the bag.
The cat is out of the bag.
The cat is out of the bag. Okay, so again, it's not literal. It's not like you had a cat in a bag and you let it out, right?
A nice idiom here, meaning the truth is out.
The truth is out. We discovered the truth.
Yes, so imagine that the cat is the truth.
Right, and it escaped.
Yes.
Okay, so the cat's out of the bag. The truth is out. We know the truth now.
Yep.
Okay, and our last phrase, pretending.
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 So Lois was pretending to be a normal housewife.
Mm-hmm. Let's listen to some examples of how we would use pretending.
Example 1.
Pretend that you're my boyfriend and he'll go away.
Example 2.
I can't believe Lucy pretended to be sick.
Example 3.
You forgot my birthday. Don't pretend that everything is okay.
Okay, so pretending is acting like you are somebody that you are not.
Yes, or it's sort of like acting a lie.
Okay, so for example, on Halloween, everyone dresses up as a monster or Spider-Man or something. So everyone pretends to be that character.
Yes.
But they are not.
Yes.
Okay, pretending. To pretend.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Drag her over here and help me tie her up.
I can't believe she fell for it. She is a lot more gullible than I thought.
Well, you gotta admit, my acting was brilliant.
Whatever. I was the one that convinced her to come. Look, she's waking up.
What's going on, Ellen? What are you doing?
The cat's out of the bag, you witch! You can stop pretending now.
Yeah, Lois, we know who you are. Now, we want some answers. Why are you here?
Fools! You don't know who you're dealing with. You can't stop me.
Run!
Okay, so what do you think will happen in part 5?
I have no idea.
Well, what do you guys think will happen in part 5? Apparently, Armand isn't a vampire anymore.
But Lois is a witch. Who's Ellen? What sort of twist are we going to see here?
Is she an alien?
Oh my God.
We don't know what will happen, but you can tell us what you think will happen. Come to our website at englishpod.com and leave all your questions and comments and maybe your story ideas.
Yes, Marco and I are always around to answer your questions and to respond to your comments. So, guys, I think we're out of time for today, but thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And we're bringing you the final lesson of our job interview series.
That's right. And in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on 2 very, very common but sometimes difficult questions.
Okay, so we've talked about preparing for the job interview in part 1. Part 2, we talked about educational background and work experience. And in part 3, what are we going to be looking at?
We're going to be looking at 2 questions: why we should hire you and your greatest weakness.
Okay, so these are the classic, common questions that you'll get at a job interview, right?
That's right. So why don't we just get started and we'll take a listen to the dialogue and see how our interviewee handles these questions.
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. You know, I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
Well, our interviewee is doing very well, but I think he had a little bit too many beans or chili.
Oh my God. Like, this is probably the most embarrassing thing I can think of.
But he doesn't say anything, so I don't know. Maybe he should have said, "Oh, pardon me, excuse me," or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a controversy.
Yeah. Okay, but what isn't a controversy is the language, because there's some great stuff in here.
All right. So let's take a look at the language in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we've got some great phrases and words for you to use when you're talking about what sort of benefits and skills and experience and expertise you can bring to a company.
Okay. The first thing that he said, and it's a very interesting word, he said technical acumen.
Technical acumen.
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 This is a really hard word. What is acumen?
It's basically insight and understanding and the ability to make good and difficult decisions.
Okay, so he has a very strong technical acumen.
So a strong insight or understanding of technical issues.
Okay, or I can change it and maybe say, I have a very strong business acumen.
Exactly. These are the 2 most common ways that this word is used. Technical acumen, business acumen.
Okay, great. Now let's take a look at another word, which is very interesting because everybody knows it.
Yes.
Excel.
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 Now, Excel is, of course, the software that you use, right?
Yeah, but here it's a verb meaning to be really, really good at something.
Right. To be the best, maybe.
Yeah.
To excel at something.
Yes. So I excel at cooking.
All right. So excel, you are the best.
I mean, that's not really going to help me in a job interview, but the next word might.
Head.
Head.
Well, in the dialogue, we heard it as headed in the past, right?
Yeah, that's right. He headed the customer support department.
So I think this is a great word to use when you were saying I was the leader.
Mm-hmm.
I was the main person in charge.
Yeah, the manager.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a nice verb to use to show that you were leading something.
Okay. Okay, now for the next word. Struggle.
To struggle.
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 So what does struggle mean?
It means that you have difficulty doing something.
So it's hard for you.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in school, I struggled with math.
Okay, and now I struggle with Chinese.
Exactly. So to have a hard time.
Yeah. Why don't we hear a couple of examples of how this word is used?
Example 1. We're really struggling to reach our sales target. Example 2.
Yeah, to be honest, I do struggle with time management.
Example 3.
The teacher farted in class and I really had to struggle not to laugh.
Okay, so great examples. Let's move on to our next word. Punctuality.
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 Okay, so to be punctual.
It means to be on time, always.
Always. So punctuality would be the noun form.
Right, so the condition or the state of always being on time.
Right, so punctuality, to be punctual.
Yeah, and our interviewee struggles with punctuality.
Right, like me.
I guess you guys have something in common.
We do. Now, he has a problem with punctuality, but he said he has addressed this weakness.
Yes, to address.
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 Now, if you notice, it's spelled the same way as address.
That's right.
But you pronounce it differently.
So the verb address has the stress on the second syllable.
Okay, address.
Yes.
And that means to
deal with.
To deal with the problem.
Yeah.
To acknowledge the problem.
And to try and solve it.
Okay. So different from your home address where you live.
Yeah. And there the stress is on the first syllable.
Address.
Right.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue one more time and then we'll come back and talk about these two questions. Greatest weakness and why should we hire you?
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. You know, I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
All right, Marco, well, this classic question, why should we hire you? I think you'll hear it in many, many different interviews. And how did he deal with it here?
Well, the first thing that he said is very, very important because they're asking you why. So your immediate reaction would be to answer with because or I think that. But there's a different way of approaching it, which is a little bit more professional. He said, I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company.
I think I would be a perfect fit in this company.
That's how he started his answer, and then he explained why.
So this sounds really strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically, it just makes you seem to be very confident and puts you like you are already part of the company.
So this is a great way to start off this question, but you got to follow this up with some information. So what kind of information should you be giving?
Well, like we talked about in your work experience, the same thing goes here. What do you have to offer to this company? What special skills or insights or experience can you bring that would help us?
Yeah, that nobody else can bring.
Exactly. So, again, you have to start talking about your strengths and your previous experience, but with examples, right?
Very, very specific examples. And whenever you can, throw in some numbers or some specific successes that you have had.
Exactly. And once you've talked about these things, you can close off this answer by saying, given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
So that is just like a magical sentence saying like, if you give me the chance, I will demonstrate how good I am and how I can help this company.
Yes, a really, really strong closing argument.
Yes. So that's the way you should more or less approach that question, right?
All right, but let's turn now to the classic question, your greatest weakness.
What is your greatest weakness? When you get this question, be sure to not say, my greatest weakness is I work too much.
My greatest weakness is I'm a workaholic.
Right? Or, what was it? Or I am a perfectionist.
Yeah, these, we can see right through these.
Right.
I mean, they're too obvious and they're too silly. I mean, everyone has a weakness, so don't try and turn it around into a strength. I just don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. So, yeah, be sure to stay away from these answers. But you can say anything. Like in this case, he has a problem with being on time.
Yeah.
So be honest, say what one of your greatest weaknesses are, but the key to making this weakness look good is saying what you are doing to solve this weakness.
Exactly. So really be truthful. Tell the interviewer what you're not good at, because there's obviously something that you're not good at.
Exactly. So you can say, I am usually late, but I am getting more organized. I am doing the seminar. Let the interviewer know that you are trying to improve this weakness.
Exactly.
And be sure to also think about your strength, right?
Yeah, be prepared to answer the question, what is your greatest strength?
So, and again, when you're talking about your strengths, be sure it's something more specific than saying, oh, I'm very responsible.
Yeah. You want to be as specific as you can. And again, give those examples, give those successes, give those numbers.
Right, exactly. So think about your weaknesses, think about your strengths. If you don't know them, ask people, to ask your colleagues or ask your friends, what do you think is my greatest strength? Maybe you're a funny person. That's a strength.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, remember, there are 3 parts to this interviewing series, and you can find them on our website at englishpod.com.
Right. Come to our website, englishpod.com. You can look at all of these 3 lessons, and I hope they are really helpful. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, or maybe you'd like a little bit more of this interview series, let us know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Good luck in your interviews. And until next time, goodbye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be bringing you a great lesson that's talking about a bank robbery.
Yes, and this is an important lesson for all of our, future bank robbers out there.
Yeah, we are going to teach you some words that you would use for planning a bank robbery, but you can apply them to other situations. Hopefully not.
I hope you apply them to other situations.
Hopefully you won't rob a bank. We don't want to be responsible for any crimes you may commit.
Yep.
All right, so why don't we start by looking at some of the vocabulary in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
We have one word for you today that you'll hear in the dialogue, and it is filling in.
Filling in.
Filling in.
So to fill in for somebody, right?
Yeah.
That means that you are replacing them.
Yes, so if Marco can't host the show today, maybe Danny will fill in.
Okay, so to take the place of someone.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so now let's listen to our dialogue. Let's listen to this bank robbery and let's see what happens.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. I've carefully mapped this out, so don't screw it up. Mr. Rabbit, you and Mr. Fox will go into the bank wearing these uniforms. We've managed to get replicas of the one the guards wear for when they pick up the money.
Got it.
No problem, boss. When you get inside, tell them that you're filling in for Carl and Tom and say that they're on another route today. Don't lose your cool. Just act natural.
What if they want to call and confirm?
You let him. What? Don't worry. We have the phones tapped, so the call will be patched through to me, and I'll pretend to be the transport company.
You're so clever, boss.
Okay, shut up. Only take as much money as you can fit in these bags. Don't get greedy. Are you ready? Let's go.
Well, it sounds like a pretty interesting plan.
It does sound like a plan. Do you think it'll work?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to maybe talk a little bit about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the language that we saw in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, we heard 5 really great words in this dialogue that I'd like to look at now in Language Takeaway. So let's go to the first one. Now, we heard the boss say that they got replicas of the uniforms.
Right, replicas.
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 So this is really easy. Something that's a replica is a copy.
Exactly.
Right? So for example, in Las Vegas, there's a replica of the Eiffel Tower of Paris.
Yes. Actually, I lived in a small city where there was also a replica of the Eiffel Tower.
Really?
Yeah, in France. That is kind of weird, you know?
Well, there are a lot of replicas. Even now on the street, maybe you can see replica watches, right? That supposedly are Rolex, but they're not.
Yep.
And many, many other things. So copies.
Yes. Not the real thing.
Not the real thing. All right. So let's take a look at the next word. Tapped.
We have the phones tapped.
We have the phones tapped.
Tapped.
So if you tap someone's phone, you do something to the telephone line so that you can hear their conversations, right?
Right. And actually the police do this sometimes, right?
Right. You see it in movies all the time.
Yeah. You connect a wire to the phone so you can listen to the conversation.
Exactly. So you tap the telephone line. So in our dialogue, they tapped the bank's phones, right? You know, he said if they make a call, he will patch the call through.
Yes.
To him.
Yes.
Right?
So patch through.
Patch through.
Yeah, patch a call through.
Patch through. Now, we still use this today.
Yeah.
Like if you call an office, right? And you say, oh, can you patch me through to Carol?
Yes.
Right?
So can you connect me to another phone line?
Connect me.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now let's take a look at our next words. Clever.
Yes, the boss is very clever.
The boss is very clever.
All right. So if you're clever, you're
smart.
Yeah.
You're really smart.
Yep. Right. Simple. So the boss is quite clever, and this is a clever plan.
Clever plan. Exactly. Now, let's take a look at our last word. Don't be greedy.
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 To be greedy is a bad thing.
Right. You want everything.
You want everything for you.
Yes.
You don't share.
Yes. Okay. So like at lunch today, when you had that cake.
And I didn't share.
Yeah.
I was very greedy. Yes. With food, I am greedy.
All right. So these are some great words. And I think, if we listen to the dialogue another time, a little bit more slowly, we'll be able to hear them a little bit better.
All right. So this is what we're going to do. I've carefully mapped this out, so don't screw it up. Mr. Rabbit, you and Mr. Fox will go into the bank wearing these uniforms. We've managed to get replicas of the one the guards wear when they pick up the money.
Got it.
No problem, boss. When you get inside, tell them that you're filling in for Carl and Tom and say that they're on another route today. Don't lose your cool. Just act natural.
What if they want to call and confirm?
You let him.
What?
Don't worry. We have the phones tapped, so the call will be patched through to me, and I'll pretend to be the transport company.
You're so clever, boss.
Okay, shut up. Only take as much money as you can fit into these bags. Don't get greedy. Are you ready? Let's go.
Okay, so now we understand these words that we talked about in language takeaway. So now let's take a look at some of these great phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
We've got 3 phrases for you here, and these are all phrases you might use when you're planning something. So the first one, mapped out.
I've carefully mapped this out.
Mapped out.
To map out.
So when you map something out, what do you do?
Well, you literally create a plan. You
Okay.
draw a map of what you're going to do.
So here, is it only for like travel or?
No. It's like, for example, if we're starting a new project in the company, you can map out the project, what you're going to do this month, next month. So it's a plan.
So you draw every step in the plan.
Every step, right.
Okay.
So you said, well, I've mapped out this plan for a new project.
Okay, interesting word. I think we should hear some examples of how it's used.
Example 1.
So I have the future all mapped out. Well, you'll get a job as a waiter, then we'll get married, and 2 years later, we'll start having kids.
Example 2.
We're mapping out the marketing plan at the meeting today.
Example 3.
Okay, I've mapped out our trip, and it should take about 10 hours.
All right, so mapped out. Really, really clear now. Let's take a look at our next word.
All right, so if you've mapped out a plan, you don't want to screw it up.
Right, screw it up.
Screw it up.
Or screw up.
Yep.
So to screw something up means that you made a mistake on something.
Or you did something wrong.
You did it wrong.
Yep.
Okay, so for example, if I'm taking an exam and I make a mistake, I screwed up on the exam.
Exactly. Or for example, here, when we're recording, Marco and I make mistakes a lot. Maybe more me than Marco.
We always screw up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So to make a mistake, it's a really informal word, but very, very common.
Yeah, and you know, it sounds really, really natural when people use this.
All right, so now let's take a look at our last word. Lose your cool.
Lose your cool.
Don't lose your cool.
So what is this, to lose your cool? It's a weird expression.
It's a weird expression. Why don't we just give you an example of a person that loses his or her cool?
What do you mean you're not ready to go? It's time to go. We have to go now. Baunina to! We were supposed to leave! Punyeta, now we're sitting here again and I'm going to wait for you! Bauninam!
Okay, so basically you lose your temper. You become irritated.
You lose control of your emotions.
Right.
So Marco, when you lose your cool, is it always that you get angry?
You don't always get angry. Maybe you get irritated or impatient.
Or even nervous?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Right? So basically you're not in control of your emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've looked at a lot of great phrases, a lot of great words. So we can listen to our dialogue now for the 3rd time, and then we'll come back and talk about this bank robbery business.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. I've carefully mapped this out, so don't screw it up. Mr. Rabbit, you and Mr. Fox will go into the bank wearing these uniforms. We've managed to get replicas of the one the guards wear for when they pick up the money.
Got it.
No problem, boss.
When you get inside, tell them that you're filling in for Carl and Tom and say that they're on another route today. Don't lose your cool. Just act natural.
What if they want to call and confirm?
You let him.
What?
Don't worry. We have the phones tapped, so the call will be patched through to me, and I'll pretend to be the transport company.
You're so clever, boss.
Okay, shut up. Only take as much money as you can fit in these bags. Don't get greedy. Are you ready? Let's go.
So there's a lot of movies about bank robberies, but obviously they happen in real life. So this dialogue is actually based on real events, right?
Yeah, this actually happened in real life. And so it's actually a very creative and non-violent way of robbing a bank.
Okay, so what happened?
Basically, this guy went to a bank dressed up as one of those security guards that transport the money from the bank to another safe place. He had fake credentials or replica credentials. And
So fake ID.
Yeah, he had a replica of the uniform.
Wow.
And he walked in, he took all these bags, him and his partner, and they took him to the truck and drove off. And the bank didn't realize that they had been robbed. They thought it was a routine thing. 3 or 4 hours later, the real security guard shows up. They were long gone and they still can't find them.
Really? So a very clever plan.
Very clever and very effective. I think they stole over $500,000.
Okay, well, guys, don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home, but real life, real English, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so come to our website, leave your questions and comments. Tell us what you think will happen with these guys. Do you think they'll be successful? Do you think they'll get caught?
Yeah, they might end up in jail. Who knows?
Maybe somebody will lose their cool and get caught, right?
Well, thanks for listening, guys. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Just In. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And this is English Pod's news show.
That's right. This is the show where we tell you everything that's happening at English Pod.
So we're going to give you previews on our lessons for next week. We're going to name also our user of the week.
That's right. We're going to talk about some features on the website. And we're going to tell you about our English Pod challenge.
Okay, great. So why don't we start by naming our users of the week?
All right. So this week we've had a lot of activity on the website, a lot of comments from you guys, and we're thankful for all of those great comments. But 2 of our users have really stood out as being great members of our English Pod community. So first we want to say a big thanks to Babar Dewan.
Yes, Babar has been a really helpful person on the community. He's helped out a lot of people by explaining phrases or words. So great job, Babar. Thanks a lot, and hope that you continue listening and helping people out.
Yeah, and a big extra special thanks for those great photos you've been posting. I think my favorite has got to be the one with like 27 hands.
That was an interesting one. I think the message of that was give me a hand or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
And we also have another really great member, Younglee333.
So we want to send a shout out to Younglee333, who's asked a lot of great questions on the website, which we really appreciate.
Yeah, it seems like she is really studying hard, and she's asking a lot of questions and being really active. So good job and keep going.
Yeah, okay. So thanks to all of our English Pod members, and special thanks to Babar Dwan and Younglee333.
Okay, great. So why don't we talk about our upcoming lessons for this week?
Okay, we've got 3 lessons that are going to be published this week. We've got our first intermediate lesson and our first upper intermediate lesson.
Yeah, so for all of you who have been asking for intermediate lessons, this week is your week.
That's right. My favorite lesson for this upcoming week is New Guy in Town.
That's a really good lesson, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great language in here that will help you to describe weird or strange people, and really excellent language that will help you to gossip better.
Yeah, it's a really juicy lesson, so be sure to listen to it, and be sure to send us your lesson ideas. If you guys want a lesson maybe about a certain topic or a certain interest that you have, send it in and we can prepare a lesson for you on that.
Exactly. So, Marco, now I think it's time